Hello? I am here now. I'm a couple of minutes late, so I apologize for that. I was about to start freaking out because I felt like I had maybe just lost literally everything, which would have been incredibly unfortunate. Thankfully, that is not the case. Instead of losing literally
Round
everything,
three of the Ambidex game will be the star round.
yay! Instead of losing literally everything, welcome Moon. Instead of losing literally everything, welcome Holland. Instead of losing literally everything, I just clicked on the wrong save. So for a little while I'd clicked in and gone, I think this is what I was doing like 2 streams ago. And because, you kind of recognize the what you had just saved at the end, because, I feel like that's one of my nightmare scenarios where I open stream and then see that I have lost literally all the progress that I had made in the stream previous. I don't actually know what I would like respond like in that situation. It might be the kind of thing where I would turn off the game and then transition the stream into like a Balatro stream or something, just so I don't have to play the game. I would probably get back up to where I was off stream and then just come back and do it on stream. Or I might never play the thing again and just be in pain. Oh, there's also just like the stream again, but talk over it the whole entire time and then cry, probably because I would forget the solution to some of the puzzles. Either way, as the people here know, and as others may not, before stream, I woke up today. I woke up later than I wanted to. Sometimes it's just that kind of day, but I had like stayed up playing Mahjong for way too long last night, so I woke up a little late and I needed something to eat. So I could have eaten the food that I cooked up last night. He woke up today. You won't believe it, but after about 8 hours of sleep, I opened my eyes as my synapses started to fire, and I leaned up in my bed and then moved around. But instead, I decided that I would have some bulldog, which, if you don't know what bulldog is, it's very spicy ramen. I'm gonna say very spicy, but to some, I don't think it's like too spicy. It was spicy to me. I have like pretty crazy, like standard white guy spice tolerance. I don't want to say, I want to say that it's like slightly above the average, but not like to an extreme. We're talking like, let's say the average is like 50%. I'm at like 54.5%. That's where I stand on the standard white guy percentage, the standard white guy spice percentage scale. And so I was honestly not too scared of it, which I probably should have been. I know people have hyped up the spice to me in the past, because the whole reason why I tried it is I didn't know what it was. Jury was my first introduction to hearing about bulldog, and then a couple of people also tried bulldog because of her. So I decided to go and try it as well. And so I had to actually find this stuff, which is shockingly hard to find. In my area of like where I am in Texas, the closest like Asian market is simply like half an hour away, and it's like a out of the way half an hour too. So I basically would never find my way going that direction. But luckily for me, Mercury is in retrograde, and so Bulldog ended up being available at Walmart. So I looked it up, and I can't even remember why I checked. I think I was just like on the verge of ordering some on Amazon. Because it would have been more worth it to me than driving half an hour out of the way, because sometimes that's just how it is. Don't talk about Mercury. What's wrong with Mercury? Does Mercury being in retrograde put you in a negative position? Maybe you need to start reflecting on what your inner chakras are telling you. But Walmart had it, and I remember looking at the app and then seeing, oh, it says like it's actually in the aisle. It's in an aisle right now, which is crazy because it was just like never available at my Walmart. So finally, I get to the aisle and I find the ramen. Sometimes it's like shockingly hard to find where stuff is located in Walmart for me. even whenever I know exactly where the thing says it's going to be, I start looking through, and it's on like the international foods aisle. So you have to go beans, and then like all the vegetables are here too for whatever reason, like the canned vegetables, beans, green beans. Here's all like the seasonings and stuff, and here's like a Cajun section. Either way, instead of it being on the side of the aisle where the international foods are, for whatever reason it's like behind you. And so I turned around, and eventually I see like a whole bunch of like ramen and stuff, because like also this type of ramen, they've decided that it lives separately from like the normal instant ramen. So like the cup noodles and like the, what's it called, maruchan, all of that stuff is on a separate aisle. You have to go to a different part of the store to find it, because I guess it's just like not worthy. But I get to the I finally find where the sectioned off ramen is. It's kind of like a hazard zone, I guess, to warn people away. You have to know about it. Maybe that's the whole reason, is that if you don't know about it, you're probably not ready, kind of thing. You have to be inducted into the VIP Bulldog Club, which up until this past year, I simply have not been inducted into that club, and it also was not available at the Walmart until recently. Welcome, Cyan. And so I turn around and I'm looking at all the ramen, I'm scanning through, and I'm like desperate to get this stuff because I mean, I've heard it's good. It's supposed to taste real good. And the words that have been used to describe it to me, it's supposed to be like delicious, great, euphoric. Who uses the word euphoria whenever describing a food, unless it's like literally something that you've never experienced the joy of before? And so I'm looking through it, and I'm seeing all these brands that aren't Bulldog. And eventually, like, I'm just digging through, trying to reach the back, because maybe if I just dig a little further, like the guy mining for diamonds, like gamblers never needing to stop, I'm digging through the back, and I find 1 cup Bulldog noodle. And so I pick up this 1 cup Bulldog, and I message Jury, and I'm like, is the cup the same as the bags? Is this going to be worth picking up? And she said, no, it's not. And so I grabbed it anyway, because I do want to compare, but I knew then that I would not let my first attempt be on something that is not worthy of the first attempt. So I still have that in the pantry, which we'll get to at some point, but I had to wait a little bit. I had to wait a few days, and eventually, because there was a section for the Bulldog, and it was just all empty. It was 1 straight line back, which is insane, because the app said it was in stock, which means that it was there. It's just that people flood this stuff and they take it. And so that's what makes it weird to me, is like, why is like the Bulldog not just with the rest of the ramen? What makes it like unworthy of being with the rest whenever it seems to be the most popular item in maybe the whole store? And then I start wandering around looking for an employee, because it says it's in stock, so maybe they have it at the back. And eventually I find a guy. He's putting cream cheese away. And, I wasn't going to just ask one, because they have like the random shoppers and stuff that are walking around the Walmart just like buying other people's groceries. And I don't know if you've ever worked retail, but if you have, usually, at least whenever I worked retail, all the divisions were like separate. So if I were to walk up to these people and go, hey, do you know if the Bulldog is in stock? They wouldn't have the answer for me, because they're just like, I don't know. I come to work and then I put on my headphones and I shop for other people. I kind of know the general location of stuff, but that's not my division. And I'm like, I understand. It would be like trying to ask a police officer to put out a fire. And so instead, I find the guy putting up cream cheese, and I go up to him, and I realized pretty early on that he also just has literally no idea. He's stalking this stuff, but he has no clue. And he's like keeping it quiet and keeping it nervous. And I didn't really know how to respond because he was like super awkward about it. I was like, is there like bulldog? And he was like, I couldn't hear him. I couldn't hear him. And so eventually I say, yeah, that makes sense. And I just kind of walk off. And gave up for the day. Either way, came back. Eventually, the bagged bulldog was in stock. And so I picked up the holy grail of spicy ramen, rushed it over to the front, got it bought, drove back home. And so today, I decided that I would have that after my synapses started firing instead of eating what I had cooked last night. Because I'm going to be honest, I managed to burn it. So I bet he stocked it right after you left. Why would you say that? That's insane. Maybe that's not his department. Maybe he's the specific cream cheese guy. Either way, tried it today. And so what's interesting about bulldog is that it's more of a stir fry instead of the standard ramen. You don't just leave all the water in there. And also, I don't know if I don't know how everybody else makes ramen, but the way that I was taught to do it as a kid was that you break up the block whenever before you put it in the water. So with like normal like Maruchan Nissan bagged water, you kind of just start beating on the thing, which led to situations as a kid where you would like hit it too hard and then the bag would explode and then ramen would like fly everywhere. And so because of that, I'm more accommodated to the method where you just grip both sides of the ramen block and then just start like pushing it apart and then cracking it up that way. But I'm pretty sure that that is actually just pointless, and I don't know why I've been told to do that my whole life. Because in this situation, you just fill the water, and I followed the instructions exactly because I was not about to do it wrong for the first experience. I poured the water in exactly 20 milliliters, I believe it was. Just put it in the pot. Yeah, I think that's the normal way. I have no idea why I was taught to do it this way. But that's just kind of what I've always done. Maybe because my dad is a weirdo that likes his noodles shorter. But, you know, he's not like doing that to everything. It's just bizarre. But no, I did not burn the bulldog. I burned what I cooked last night. Maybe you should listen. I can't say that seriously. But either way, dropped the whole entire block into the water. Let it stir around and stuff. And what is unique about bulldog is that the noodles, they're so like thick. It's not your standard, it's not your daddy's ramen. Okay, it's not your grandpa's ramen. It's not your granny's ramen. Why are you so defensive about what you cooked? Well, you know, I feel like you put your heart into your cooking. And so that's why you can't just straight up go to somebody that you're friends with and then say, this is the worst thing that I've ever tasted in my life. It's something personal. And I did not tell you the name. I made chili mac. And maybe I didn't tell you what it was because it's a little embarrassing for me that I managed to burn it. I forgot to turn the crock pot from low to warm. There, you got it out of me. Does that make you feel better? It doesn't make me feel better. It's an embarrassing situation for me to be in. Are you going to walk up to somebody that maybe is going through something and say, hey, you pooped yourself in the middle of the Walmart? You just go the other way. There's no reason to involve yourself with that. Either way, the bulldog, thick noodles, it's all stirred up and stuff. And then I get to the sauce, and the sauce is like super like orange. And I get the sauce. Well, wait, I'm forgetting a step. I drained it first before putting the sauce in, because since it's a stir fry, you can't have all that water. So you drain the water out, and then you have the like noodle sitting in just a little bit of water. I believe it said 8 tablespoons or teaspoons. I can't remember which, because I think I drained too much water. So I did grab a little spoon and then I spooned in like a couple of spoonfuls of water. And then I started mixing in the sauce, and the sauce did actually turn the pot into like a crime scene, as if I had gone like full vampire mode and then started draining people's blood and putting it into my ramen noodles. That way that I could have youth. Thank you for the how to guide on Bulldog. No problem. I highly recommend it. And put the flakes in. No egg this time because I was warned against egg for the first time. So get it on the plate, and then I went to rinse out the pot. That way it would be easier to clean later. And this is where the first warning sign comes in. As soon as the vapor touches the sauce in the pan, or in the pot rather, I start coughing. Like it's going straight in through my nose, then like tickling the inside of my throat. I don't know if you've cut onions, but cutting onions, you get the experience where like the fumes start just like wafting into your eyes, and you're like, oh, as you like start to water up and like cry and scream a little bit. It hurts a lot. It's kind of like that, but a much more subtle way where you're like directly like inhaling spice into your nose, and it like tingles, and it makes you cough. It feels like a diseased kind of reaction, and that was the first warning sign for me. Finally sit down with the Bulldog, and I shovel some of it into my mouth with my very long noodles because I did not break any of it up. And the noodles are like nice, they're soft, pretty thick, and the sauce was super sweet. Like, I loved it. Like, the first bite was so happy. And I would say that first bite was, like, delicious, euphoric, whatever word you want to use to describe it. But then you get, like, this destructive, like, tsunami that comes in afterwards. You're living the happiest life that you could ever imagine. You have, like, an entire family. And then, like, the tsunami comes in, destroys your home. Your workplace has been bankrupted by the costs that are required to fix it. They were uninsured. I don't know why, but they just decided that they didn't need insurance. And then it also, like, makes its way to the hospital and then, like, kills your kid that was still there. And that was the pain that I was beginning to feel. It felt like I had begun to just like go off to war. So like it spread all on the inside of my mouth. I could feel my lips turning orange. The heat was spreading across all of them. And all of them, I only have one pair of lips. Are they a pair, or is it just like one entity? Because you have an upper lip and a lower lip. Is that like a separate thing? Because you have one arm, but you have like a forearm and then like an upper arm. But it makes up one arm. So does the upper lip and lower lip, does that make up one lip, or is that a pair of lips? Like, can you have, like, if I were to cut off my bottom jaw, would that be like half a lip or one lip? It's a pair? That makes sense. And so you get the spread like across your lips. The pair of lips, because it's one pair of lips. Either way, and for me, whenever that hit, I realized that this was not going to be easy. In my first reaction, we don't talk about this stuff. The people are too scared to say what we're all thinking. But I rushed to my room to get water because I was eating in the kitchen. I'm not going to eat it on my beautiful bike and desk mat from Guilty Gear Strive. It's wonderful. And I grabbed my water bottle, and I realized like the water is just a foolish choice, isn't it? Because water makes the spice spread. And so if I were to drink the water, I'd be sending the spice directly down like into my throat, into my stomach. And then, that water is going to go into your bladder, and then maybe you're just going to be pissing spice, which I don't think I was ready for. That's going to be like a kidney stone competitor. I feel like if you were to drink enough like spicy lemonade or something, would your piss get spicy? Is that how that works? It probably separates, right? Because the spice is like a separate thing. I don't know. Either way, the water was a mistake. Kept eating though, pushed through. I get halfway through the plate, you can feel like the red like rising through your face as you heat up. I was sweating all over. I could feel like my glasses fogging up, fogging up, and so it was harder to see. My hair was getting all sweaty and stuff. It was like greasier. And then my nose, whenever I get 3/4 of the way through the bulldog, my nose is like draining. It's a faucet that can't be turned off. I go onto the outside faucet trying to turn off the water to my house. The faucet rips off in my hand, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I'm forming like a snot mustache. I don't know if you've ever seen a cat with like just snot hanging out of his nose. That's kind of like the look that we were going for. And so, but I know that I have to continue, and it's not even like a have to thing, it's a want to continue. Not just to prove myself, but because the bulldog does just taste good. And because the bulldog just tastes good, you continue to push through. You feel wildly uncomfortable. I think I get 7/8 through the plate before I tap out, and I pour myself a little bit of milk. And I start drinking the milk, but once you get that milk in you, it feels so heavy. It feels so heavy, and you can feel it mixing with like the sauce, and so it feels like this disgusting curdle that a witch has put in you, and like you're doomed for the rest of your life. But eventually I finish it. And whenever I finish it, I realized, and I can't show it on stream unfortunately, that like I've been through an experience. I've been through a war. My face is hurting. My mouth is in complete and utter disarray. My lips are covered in it. I don't, you know what it's, you know, like the movie thing where you have like the letter from the femme fatale character, and then they like kiss the letter and they leave like the lipstick mark of it. I did that to a paper towel. And I thought about taking a picture of that as well, but I decided not to because I thought the just selfie of it would have been funnier. But you could see the full like lip marks. The lip marks like were clear. I had completely sauced up my mouth. If we were to kiss after I ate bulldog, you would have been in as much pain as I was, but just like for a little bit. Is it? So either way, the picture of me, the snot was running down my face. There was sweat everywhere. And my hair was a mess. I haven't shaved in over a week. So it had like completely destroyed me. I looked like a disheveled homeless man riddled with like PTSD that had eaten like a bunch of orange dirt because he lives in Nevada. But that was the bulldog experience. And what's crazy is that the euphoria, it does exist. I think I'll eat it again. It tasted really good. And obviously, for me, like I like to eat ramen, like just ramen noodles whenever I go to work or whatever, because they're easy, they're filling for a while, and they'll hold me off until like dinner or whatever. But if I were to bring one of these to work, the reaction, I might actually ask my boss if he wants to try one because it would be kind of funny. But the reaction of like just the sweat and the snot going everywhere. I work with like books and stuff. I would be destroying like valuable books by like snotting all over this stuff and like getting like this sauce everywhere. I guess I could kiss one of the books and like put my mark in history, but like it was good. Welcome Vino. It's taken way too close to the camera, so my face looks even more fucked up. Yeah, it was pretty close, and that was part of the appeal too. Like whenever you take a picture like that, I think you're aware that you want it to look as like disgusting as possible. So I purposefully left like my mouth just a little agape, and then I was like looking past the camera kind of, and like looking down. My head takes like a full-on ovular egg shape to like an extreme, because I think I already have like a pretty ovular head. And so you like you can use an angle to maximize the egginess of it. So it looked like extended, and like I feel like if I had a fisheye, it might be one of the greatest pictures ever taken. I've been converted to masochism, I guess so. We could be egg maxing, that's true. And I wouldn't say it's masochism because you're reaching for like the goodness below it. So even though like I'm hurting and I'm like crying, you get like this wonderful like sweetness on the bottom that's like cradling you, and you're like, oh, it feels so good, it tastes so good, and that's why you keep shoveling it in your mouth despite all the pain. So like that's what you're looking for instead of the pain. And what was good about it is I was afraid that I would just be out of commission for the next long while. Like I wouldn't be able to like eat anything, drink anything. Like I would need an IV to function for the rest of the day. But after like 10 minutes or something, the pain was all gone. My face returned to normal. It morphed back. It was less ovular. We got a little bit of the squareness. I think I hit like a bit of a square oval. Not pure square, but like, I don't know how to describe it, but we definitely got a longer head. Maybe not long. I can't tell actually. Where is my head on the, because I hit, if you look at my driver's license, you would say that my head's a square. If you were to look at the bulldog photo, you'd say that my head's an oval, I think. But either way, you return to life, and what you remember is you remember the heat in your face, and you remember the taste of it. What you don't remember is you don't remember like the pain. So I feel like you kind of get tricked into revisiting something that you maybe shouldn't. So it's kind of a little daring at the same time. It's like a wonderful little mix of emotions, I think. Get protractor, measure forehead, measure head roundness. It honestly might be an interesting experiment just to see like what kind of head I got. Because it's, you know, I feel like head shapes are so varied that you can't fall into like one category. You kind of have like different sliders and I guess that's why video games are made the way they are. You've got like the square rectangle slider, you've got the circle oval slider, and you have to mix these sliders up to like get actual head definition, I guess. I love your stories, but Joba, but half an hour of Bulldog talk? I'm sorry, am I boring you? My bad. I'm thinking about Jay Leno head. That man is fake. It seems completely unreal. He looks like the hacker from Cyber Chase. But yeah, I suppose that I should maybe move on and maybe start the process. I think that's basically all I had to say about Bulldog either way. I would highly recommend it. And what's crazy about Bulldog, I believe there is a less spicy version, but I think I would judge you if you got the less spicy version. But not boring you, the video game, let you hear the rambling mid-gaming. But the problem is that we're not in a gameplay section. So if we're not in the gameplay section, then I have to listen to what's being said and read off of what's being said. So I can't actually start until we finish the beginning of stream rambling. Because I'd be reading and then like listening to what the game's saying. We're not in a puzzle right now, and they'd have to spend 20 minutes of reasoning through what they need to reason and all that kind of thing. Do you have somewhere to be? Do you need to see the game right now? Either way, they have the non-spicy Bulldog, and then they have the 2x Bulldog as well. 2x Pimpy Bulldog. And so they if you think that you could like body the first Bulldog, which my picture may scare you off for those that have seen it. My picture may scare you off. 2x Bull, 3x Doc, true. If that scares you off of the 2x Bulldog, I would say don't be scared, because I still fall within standard white guy levels. But I would definitely try the initial Bulldog before going to the 2x Bulldog. I will buy this because I believe you are weak. I think that might be the case. I think I might be weak and we have to build. Either way, Virtue's last reward. The Bulldog segment is over, Holland. You may return your attention to the screen. That way you can retain the information that is being had and maybe enjoy. Either way, round 3 of the Ambidex, I believe where we left off is... what happened? Tenmyouji voted to not betray us. And so we're about to go into the next thing with more points than we had before. We were at 1. Clover is kind of like lame and stuff, and so we have to work around her. Either way, I forgot that I even had like the sound active. But we're good now. Star keys, we got the star keys.
On usage of the star keys, the Ambidex gates can be opened.
True. We can open the gates as many times as we want.
That means the star keys can be used to play the AB game any number of times.
Oh, wait. That means that, like, they can just spam play
Announcement correctly, that is.
and then betray each other over and over again. Why don't they just, like, farm +9s?
Say something about this.
Did he?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair
True.
solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, he did. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Oh, that's right, because we're like at the beginning of the game. This is not like a new rule where they can farm points. That's just not how it works. Within moments, a series of risks were extended to examine, which means that like I've seen like what these are, I believe. Where am I in the flowchart? I actually have no idea. The big reveal? It looks like all the colors are weird. Clover's a cyan pair, and Phi's a magenta pair, but Tenmyouji's a yellow pair.
K's red, Dio's green, and you're blue.
Congratulations, we know how colors work. Then how are we supposed to group up for the chromatic doors? I think they're gonna be white this time.
Yes. Dio
Oh,
told me about
yeah, we saw the white doors. They were weird.
Yeah, they're white, all of them. I had a good look while I was waiting for Sigma to show up down in the warehouse.
You should have seen them then too, Phi.
Yeah, I did. You're talking about the doors in the floor B warehouse, right?
Yep. I forget what they had like a different word down there too on the wall that was just like completely made up nonsense. Phi nodded and began to explain. Option A, Tenmyouji yellow and me blue would form one group. Phi magenta and Dio green would form another group. Clover cyan and K red would form a third. Oh, wait. This is different then. This is not the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So you have to like match up with who? Who am I with? So Sigma, am I with Clover? No, Sigma with Tenmyouji?
There's no other way we can group.
You're
up
in
to
a
make
group?
white.
Oh, true. Cyan.
Alice, Luna, and Quark aren't here to show us their bracelets, so we don't know for sure what their colors are. But
True.
It's pretty clear they'll all be pairs, since none of the pairs here have a partner.
So they'll be yellow, magenta, and
Right.
cyan. We know that much. It's a shame that we don't get to choose. I sure hope... Who did I get paired with? I sure hope not Dio, right? About an hour, it looks like. We gotta get the group together so that we all know. Get the band back together so we know what genres we are. Personally, I believe that we are Porno Grind. Guy who pronounces Sean like Cyan. Cyan Bayan is my favorite actor.
Do I really need to say it?
I felt incredibly moved whenever he was shot with arrows in Lord of the Rings. I also really liked his performance in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. He gave me a nod and trotted out through the yellow door. That left only 3 of us, Dio, K, and myself. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head over to the lounge and have a drink. You wanna tag along, Kay?
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah, that's
I find it
intense.
rather hard to drink with this mask on.
Ah, right, of course. My bad. Well,
I don't think
I'm
it
out.
was. Dio's
Later.
consistently just been provoking the whole time. It's a very Dio-like thing. I have negative opinions of basically anybody named Dio now. And I have not listened to like any Dio music, but I think he might be one of the worst artists of all time. With a lazy wave of his hand, Dio slouched off toward the magenta door. It took me a moment to realize Kay was following him.
What is this?
And there's not really a reason to say so. It's just that every single like Dio named character that I've ever seen has been like, you know, maybe a little evil and stuff. I actually hate you now.
I hope to investigate floor B further.
Unfortunately, that's just kind of how things are. I've had a bias built into me. Go listen to Holy Diver. I will beat you with a rock. All right. You don't need to beat me with a rock. I'll give Holy Diver a chance, but just know that it probably has evil vibes.
See ya.
Their conversation ended as they reached the door and stepped through it. Sounds like Dio behavior? True, you're being influenced by the satanic Dio music. What should I do?
Tonight's that eclipse, remember?
Oh, true. Tenmyouji's like potentially evil and stuff too, where he's shoving kids in lockers or something, and maybe creating Radical 6, which is maybe destroying the entire planet. The words were scarcely out of my mouth before I set off at a dead run down the hallway and toward the infirmary. So like the main theory that I have right now is Tenmyouji probably had a hand in creating Radical 6, and he's probably the reason why the Nonary game is happening. The room was completely empty. I edged. There he was, Tenmyouji. He was standing next to Quark. A picture? I must have made some small noise because he suddenly looked up, saw me, and hastily shoved the photo back into his pocket. What was that? It was a photo of something, right? Was it yours?
Forget it. It's got nothing to do with you.
But all the stuff we had with us when we got grabbed was taken away. Why were you hiding it?
You about one measly photo.
You know, there's a little bit of tension right now. Maybe it would like diffuse some of it. But I don't think you're a big fan of diffusing. I think you're maybe a fan of creating viruses.
I asked her to leave. I wanted to be alone with Quark for a bit.
That's not suspicious. Why are you here? I wanted to hear the rest.
What? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about that simulated manned mission to Mars. We heard that recording about it.
Any idea what you're talking about? I'm getting old. Memory's
That's
not what they used
crazy.
to be.
Tenmyouji with the dementia. He's dementia maxing. Nice try, pal, but you're not getting away with it this time. You remembered something. Alright. You remember so much, you told me it'd take way more than 10 minutes to tell it all.
You really sure you want to know?
Yeah.
And then you'll regret it. Maybe you'll wish you'd kept your fool mouth shut. Just
Why?
think of all the hopes you've got
We
for
just
the
need,
future
like, to
and all the
move on and
memories
stuff.
of the past. What if what I have to tell you makes everything you've ever believed ring hollow?
It can't be that
The
bad.
whole world just crumbles around you.
The world's
You sure
already,
would.
like, getting destroyed and stuff. We're in, like, super pandemic mode. Come on, you don't need to threaten
This
me.
isn't a threat. I'm being honest here. Are you really, truly prepared?
Yep, of course. I never got the chance to say I am. It's gonna be like Dio or Fi or something. Oh. Before I could, Fi exploded into the room, her face a mixture of anxiety and fear.
Good. There you are.
Did something happen?
Alice's.
Oh,
Look,
not
is somebody
again.
all right? She's in the number 2 cabin.
She's dead again? Without waiting for a response, Fi spun around and ran back out of the room. Tenmyouji and I exchanged a quick confused look, then leapt up and took off after her. The I edged comment is becoming more and more true as the information, we've been like teased with it multiple times at this point. We're kind of being like information edged. So she dies basically in multiple endings. We've seen one already, but we were the one to find her. Alice, the first thing I saw when I stepped through the door was the blossom of red on her chest. Felt like I'd walked straight into a brick wall. I stopped short, my body refusing to move. Why did this happen? It's a little uncomfortable. Forced one shaking foot forward, then the next, my legs began to buckle and I put a hand against the wall to steady myself as my heart thundered in my chest. Calm down, this looks pretty bad, but you don't actually know anything yet. That's right, maybe it's not too late, maybe we can still save her. And at last, I pressed my fingers to her neck, and those hopes were dashed. No pulse, clearly she wasn't breathing either. Her pupils had dilated hideously, making her face seem somehow inhuman. It's not true, why? Well, the scalpel might have done it. And I noticed it, all the blow. I saw there was a scalpel buried in her chest. Judging by the position of its handle, she had been stabbed through the heart. I felt a sympathetic twinge of pain in my own chest and my stomach lurched. Bile and hopelessness rose up in my throat. I don't think that's usually eaten. I stood, hands balled tightly into white-knuckled fists, and took a deep breath. No, I'm about to throw up hope. All around the room were the rest of the Nonary Games' participants, except of course for Quark. I wanted to ask which one of them had killed her. Even if it had been one of them, though, there was no way they'd answer. All I could do was stare at each of one of them in turn, asking myself, is this person a murderer? The looks they traded with one another suggested that I wasn't the only person wondering if they were standing next to a killer. Eating a delicious bowl of bile. It goes back, I was editing the Resident Evil thing, and I was talking about throw up in the UFC. What if you had like hot dog eating competitions, but instead you had to like throw up the hot dogs and go for round 2? An unsettling silence filled the room. Clover was the first to speak.
Who did this?
So true. A little awkward.
Say something.
Silence.
Please, Clover, calm down.
I don't think it was Clover.
I don't know if she was killed. Then what happened?
Well, she looks pretty dead.
You think a scalpel just dropped from the ceiling and stabbed her?
Cool.
You never know. It might have been sticking straight up out of the floor. You ever step on a nail before?
Nuts.
Whenever I was camping as a kid, I stepped on like this giant, like unbelievably large like thorn or something, and it stabbed straight through my shoe and into my foot. And I have never had an experience like that again after. And it just felt like uniquely bizarre because like shoes are pretty like, you know, even like thinner ones are usually pretty thick. So to make it through the bottom of the sole and into the foot, it takes like a lot. And even though I would have been like a little kid and like maybe it was like a little thinner, I think it probably should have still lasted. It felt unreal. Like it had teleported inside of the shoe because the shoe did not have that big of a hole coming out, I don't think either. Doesn't necessarily mean the killer is one of us, does it?
You went into the AB room with Alice during the last round, didn't you? Something happened in
Kay?
there, didn't it?
Is she looking at Kay?
No, nothing happened.
Yeah, looking at Kay.
Don't lie to me! There's no way Alice would just run off like that! She wouldn't leave me! Something
I just kind of doubt that it was Kay that's
She was
going full
to
murder
leave.
mode.
She'd tell me. She... Hey, Clover.
She would tell me that she was running off with a scalpel.
Just assuming Alice was murdered is jumping the gun a little bit.
We do know that, you know, the Radical Six is
How can
pretty
you
impressive.
Look at her and say that? Scalpels don't just stab people all by themselves.
That's a good point.
Oh,
Scalpels don't usually run off.
I see. I get it now. You're all in on it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's one big prank and we got you good.
Killer. It
Alice
was
is about to yank the scalpel out of her chest and then get up and then say that we did it for the
No
vine.
wonder you're so anxious to say this wasn't a murder.
Clover, please, just
The strongest gaslighting operation of all time.
Fine. Show me some proof then.
What?
To me in 10 seconds that you didn't murder my friend, or I'm going to kill every last one of you.
Oh, I 10
bastards!
seconds.
You're all going to die just like she did.
How many scalpels do you have, Clover? Maybe she was a surgeon in the past life.
7. Clover. 6. 5.
Maybe speed up a little bit.
Clover.
She does have like the killing potential. I know she does.
2. 1.
Happy New Year. To be continued. We did it again. I can't believe it. How many of these can I collect? Big save. We'll save on the first one. 11:57. Like 30 of those minutes are Bulldog story. Oh, that is so lame. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to try betraying Tenmyouji as well, but I really like just don't want to. There is a split here and then another split here. So I could try this path. Part of me wants to say that because it's closer to this path, maybe we'll get the... Oh, this is green now. This is different. We can continue here. Betray, 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 betray. Maybe later. We can try this now. Luna and I stepped out of our AB room. We're going to skip to the point that would be the point.
Sure that was okay?
Of course, if I did
You
too.
sound pretty sure of yourself.
Oh, it's not confidence, I already know. Let's just go have a look, shall we? We'll know pretty quick whether I knew anything or not.
Let's go.
So this will be different now, I hope. I assume it'll be different anyway. And then I can just skip through
Results from round
this because we've already seen this.
Ambidex Gate. Please direct your attention
Oh, that's awkward.
to the results
Why are we
screen.
having to look at this whenever... Go ahead. The tension is being built. And then she betrays. Fi does anyway. Unless she, like, allies this time. No, it still is just a betray. So it must go different whenever she hops over us with her superpowers. Because it is just different now.
Points, please.
Points have been assigned. 9. What the hell, Fi? Why did you choose betray? You chose ally before. I don't know why it's
So
skipping.
you remember it too. The other round 2.
Oh, it's because I experienced the other one. That wasn't even close to the response I'd expected. It felt anticlimactic. We get more of the goofy time travel now. Hold on a minute here, you know. You remember how I chose betray last time in round 2?
Why do you think I chose betray this time? Don't you remember what I said?
That you'd
That I
get me
made you
back?
pay?
Oh, it's slightly different now. Yeah, but you didn't... I didn't know that. So, oh, because I didn't know it this time, and she was, like, responding to that world. Maybe she went through that route first. Do we both have super time travel? And this is making me pay? That's a little uncomfortable, but you should know that it doesn't affect me, really. That didn't make any sense. It's confusing. I agree a little bit. Something wasn't right. How could we both know about an earlier round 2? Fi is weird. I agree. How could we both know? How could there have been an earlier round 2? Was it some sort of alternate history? What the hell was I thinking? That was conspiracy theory shit. Even if there was some sort of alternate timeline or universe or whatever, there was no way I could know what had happened in it. No way I could know. At least I didn't think there was any way I could know, but if I could, then how? I remembered Fi choosing ally and scowling at me when I broke my promise and swearing revenge.
That was not a smart move, Sigma. I won't forget.
You betrayed
this.
me first.
I'll make sure you pay, even if it's the last thing I do.
Go ahead. Why did I know that? Perhaps more importantly, why did Fi remember it? What the hell did any of this mean? It happened before, hadn't it? During round 1 of the AB game when I was playing against Alice. I'd seen something. Fi and I had chosen betray, but for some reason I'd seen a reality where we chose an ally instead. Suddenly I realized that I wasn't alone. I looked up to see Luna, Clover, and Kay. They all began to speak at once.
Why did you choose betray, Fi?
Yeah, you're the only one
True.
who didn't vote
Interrogate.
ally.
Fi looked away and scowled. For several long moments, her eyes stared off into the distance, and I could see her mind working. Finally, she sighed and spoke.
Right. Well, I've got 9 points.
See ya, Fi.
I'm so sorry, but I'm out of here.
Oh. Oh.
Do I really have to explain it?
You know,
I'm
maybe
leaving.
for the best.
Through the number 9 door.
Through the number 9 door. Let's just skip through to the... Oh, so cool. She's got superpowers. I wish I had them. I felt myself speaking before I even knew what the words were. Ellipsum semel occasionum non ipse potest lupita repriendere. Grocery store doesn't have Bulldog sad. Have you already checked? That's insane. Not even Jupiter can find a lost opportunity. Sorry, we're speaking Latin now. If you can't handle my Latin verses, then I just need you to leave. You aren't ready for the stream yet. What about the nonary game? 0, the bombs? We still don't know the truth about any of it. If you leave now, we never will. Is that really what you want? I needed to go anyways. It's just you were gone so fast. I don't know how you did that. They have it on Amazon, but it's like $6 on Amazon. Like $7? No, it's a little more, I think.
Fine.
I can't remember how much more it is. It might be even more where you are. I don't know if Amazon's like everywhere it has the same prices across the country or what. Grocery store is like a 5-minute walk. Oh, that is so convenient. The grocery store is not far from where I am, but it's definitely not walkable just because of like the roads and stuff. I think prices are constant, and if not, you'd VPN. That's fair. Look, I'm sorry about betraying you. I'm honestly
Forget
not sure
about
why I
This
did it.
time you chose ally and I chose betray. I think.
True, so you're the bad guy.
What are you talking about?
We just know things that you don't.
Betray her.
Never?
Are you talking about round 1?
No, we aren't talking about round one.
Just
Where
drop it.
why can't they just know? Why do you have those superpowers too? She's like main character number 2. It's kind of weird because we actually are playing a game with 2 main characters, but we only have access to 1 main character.
Did tell them.
You're right. Oh,
I don't get it.
oh.
Well, at least it seems Phi has decided to remain.
Kay's pretty chill.
You've really changed your mind? Yeah, I'll stick around a little longer.
He doesn't mind.
Like he said, I can't leave until we figured out what's going on.
That's good, but I think this ends the... Does the path continue now? Don't tell me that we're about to unlock even more endings. Someone reaches 9 PP.
Oh, man.
Wait, hold
That
up.
was
What did that
pretty.
say? Someone reaches 9 PP and doesn't open the door, the game will keep going.
Please don't scare us like that again.
Yeah, you don't need to like get at me just to like kill the rest of the gang too. It's a little overkill, I would say. You'd get like a award for it in Halo. We can continue off of this now then.
The ambidex gates have closed.
True.
Round 3 of Starkey. There is no set. The ambidex.
Oh,
gates
we just heard this. As many times as you
As long as
want.
you have the star keys.
True.
Probably won't be allowed to play. There's a period of time between when the doors open.
Oh, that's how you can't farm points. Good point, Kay.
Based off the last 2 rounds, I think it's about 45 minutes.
So if you
long.
can just sit here for 45 minutes, we could like plan stuff around. So you can repeat the game once every 45 minutes or so.
That's right. Didn't Zero Jr. say something about that?
True.
As soon as the gates close.
Your colors get shuffled up.
And Solo.
Do you have to go into those doors? What are your bracelets, guys? Looks like I'm in a red solo.
I'm a magenta pair. Me too.
Okay.
That means we'll be a team this time.
Don't get too
It'll be
excited.
great. Yeah. Who's gonna be my partner then? I'm a cyan.
I don't
pair.
think anybody wants to.
They do not appear to be here. I, for instance,
They do not
am a
appear to be
yellow
here. Indubitably. Wait a second, if Luna and Clover are a magenta pair, Phi is a cyan pair and Kay's a yellow pair. Who the hell am I supposed to partner up with?
I imagine.
Vi and her mysterious partner.
How do you figure that?
What colors are added together to create cyan?
Green and
What color
blue?
would you get by adding your red to that?
Red, green, and blue would be white.
So you're saying the next set of chromatic doors?
Yes,
We've already seen them.
because I have seen them.
True.
After leaving the archives, we found a warehouse very similar to this one. In it was a set of white doors. Well,
Right.
to be precise, a set of doors which radiated white light.
Okay, was there a need to get that specific? Where's the rest of the gang? Are they all just hanging out at the next warehouse? Maybe that's why we get the whole cutscene right now?
Yeah, I saw him too. After we were finished.
Oh, that's awkward.
We went to the same warehouse he's talking about.
True. Oh, we're watching them go from the garden and stuff too? I don't think I needed to see Clover's pathway to the warehouse. It just seems a little unnecessary. I get that they all link up.
They had the same little lock thingies.
True.
I'm 100% sure they're the next.
I did it
chromatic
too.
doors.
Boop, 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 boop,
What about the people back in the infirmary? Do they know about the white doors?
Yes, if we exclude
Yes.
Quark from their number, then I believe they do.
True. He's a little like unconscious and stuff, so that might inconvenience things a little bit. Wonder what
As far
colors
as
they are.
pairs go, we're missing a cyan and a yellow.
If Sigma is
Right.
a red solo, then we should have a green solo and a blue solo back in the infirmary.
Well,
So I have to be
going
paired
back
with
to the
Phi. I
infirmary.
just don't want to be paired with Phi. It's
I'm
insane.
worried about Alice and Quark. I'll go too.
As will I.
Me too. Me too. There's something I needed to tell
What
you.
is it?
Go on.
I meant to say something earlier, but I guess there was just so much other stuff going on. I looked at Phi. She nodded back. See, the truth is, oh, are we actually letting them in on the knowledge? So I think we trust Clover, Kay, and Luna for
Oh,
sure.
you found another bomb?
Oh no, I forgot about the bomb. It's been so long.
Where?
In the garden?
No, that's not possible.
Yes.
We didn't see anything like that. Could you have missed it? No,
No?
way. We checked every part of that room.
I mean, there was like a lot in the garden. It was pretty big. There's a number on this one too. It said 01, since the one we found in the crew quarter said 03 on it.
Might be a third bomb out there somewhere. I think there's a good chance.
Definitely. Unless they just like were going for odd numbers.
Very
They might be
well.
going for an
We should
odd to
split up
odd
and
build.
find this other bomb. It could be anywhere.
I agree.
Even if we do find it, what are we supposed to do?
You can just map them out, I guess. Maybe you can figure out where the explosion will hurt the least. Aren't these things like literal, like, tiny nuclear bombs? Why did they need multiple?
Primary concern should be finding it.
You can't
How big
find
can a
it
warehouse
anywhere you
be?
can't see, after all.
Precisely.
Can you fight a bomb,
I'll head
even
back
if you
to the
can see it?
infirmary and let everybody else
Maybe
know.
if you have, like, enough tools, but we certainly don't.
How about we
The
set
final
time
puzzle is
limits
going to be
on
bomb
just in
defusal, and
case?
if you cut the wrong wire, the entire game just ends and it deletes your saves too.
Let's see.
A couple of minutes. Oh no, a couple hours.
1 hour and 57
Oh, that's so annoying.
I think approximately half of that should be enough. When we have 1 hour remaining, we should meet back at the infirmary.
True.
Acceptable?
I
That
agree.
Sounds good to me. Right. I'll tell the others.
No, I
too.
disagree. Let's make it 1 hour. The awkward walk too. Getting into an elevator, there's 4 people. Nobody wants to say words to each other. One person starts normal conversation. You get in on the normal conversation, awkward laughter. You leave the elevator, you never interact with that person again. They live a completely separate life. How does it happen? Walk in the elevator. Can monkeys lift with their legs? Leave, never speak again. I've made jokes in the elevator before to people that haven't landed. You know how bad that is? I can't remember what the jokes have been because, you know, I think I blocked that out of my memory. But sometimes, like, whenever I'm just in an elevator, I like to say something to get people to, like, laugh a little bit. And sometimes it does work, and then it feels so good whenever that does happen. But sometimes you pull the joke out, and then, like, you kind of just get, like, an awkward stare. And, I don't think you can do anything about it. You kind of just have to awkwardly, return back into your shell and, like, never speak again. And then what's even worse is if you exit the elevator after the joke doesn't land, and then you're both going the same direction. So these are the white doors that Kay and Clover were talking about. There's the lock thing, no question that these are chromatic doors.
Seems.
Breaking the silence. That kind of interaction would make me want to breaking the string that holds the elevator up. That's not a string. I can't think of what it's called.
I've been here the
Maybe
whole
break the
time.
harness that's holding it the whole time. Seriously? I didn't
Oh,
notice you at
I
all.
guess your hearing's starting to go. How sad.
Why do you sound so ominous? Erg. Cable, that's the word. Although they're not getting TV down there. No watching SpongeBob. Why are you
I'm not
stalking me?
you. I just followed you here.
That's pretty much the same thing, but how did you do it? You were totally silent. Are you Batman?
I told you I'm not. Remember? Back in the AB room when we met.
How many Batman accusations can a guy get? We don't need to see the Batman. You also jumped super high all the way up to the ceiling.
Right. Aren't you curious about that graffiti?
Graffiti. Memento mori if the 9th lion ate the sun. Did a kid write that or
Why do you
what?
say that?
Well, they managed to spell 9th wrong. Who puts an E in
Right.
there? Then again, maybe it means something. Oh, they're trying to make you think a quark.
The Latin part.
A Latin part. Memento mori. Give me a little credit. Even I know what memento mori means. You see it all over the place. As far as I know, it translates to something like be aware of death or remember your mortality. Never forget that we all die someday. I guess it's a sort of cautionary
What
thing.
about the other part?
Don't break the cable that's holding the elevator up. It's exactly what it says on the tin, right? Some sort of conditional about lions and suns. The 9th lion ate the sun. Anything
No,
come
not
to
that
mind?
at all. What about you?
Me? Let's see. Memento mori. Memento mori. I repeated the words over and over in my head, but nothing. Whatever they meant, it was beyond me. But perhaps phi.
Huh?
Latin. Don't you know Latin? Maybe you can figure
Well,
out
I
more of
know
it.
A little. More than most people, I guess, but I'm not an expert.
Oh, she isn't fluent in the dead language. Then how'd you know that phrase? Alepsum semel occasionum non ipsi potest lupiter reprehendere?
Oh, that.
Reprehender. Reprehendir.
That's from, this.
She unpinned the brooch from her chest as she spoke and held it out to me. Hesitated for a moment, then took it.
The back.
I turned it over. Ellipsum simul occasionum non ipsi potest lupiter reprehendere. So I guess the I is pronounced like a J in Latin. Oh, Jupiter.
Yeah.
Stop summoning demons in my room. Sorry. Things are currently floating everywhere in here too.
A memento of my late mother.
We're getting very Latin right now. And
Well,
I think you
guess
just have to
it's like a
understand that.
memento.
What does
She
that
died
mean?
Right after I was born.
That's a little
I was
awkward.
raised by foster parents, and they told me where the brooch had come from.
Maybe they lied.
Apparently it was
They
the
just
only
bought
thing
it from
my
some
mother
random
left
shop. Just to make you feel a little better?
Don't have one.
What about your
I
father?
guess you could say I was a bastard.
Well, that's just
I
not a
never
nice
saw
thing to
his
say.
face, and I don't know his name. I don't even know if he's alive.
Fair. I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just handed her back the brooch.
That phrase got to be almost like a prayer for me. Whenever I had to make a tough decision, I'd say it to myself. Sometimes I'd just repeat it over and over like a chant.
Okay.
Before long, I had it
Did it do
memorized.
anything? I mean, it
Interested in
stopped you.
Latin, and I started studying the language. Elapsum semel occasionum non ipsi protest Jupiter reprehendere.
Elapsum semel occasionum non ipse potest Jupiter reprehendere. Sorry, I think I'm mastering it
Not even
too.
Jupiter can find a lost opportunity.
We're making it in the Latin study.
Sounds nice,
We're
doesn't it?
academics now.
But
We're preserving the dead
it
language.
seems kind of funny now. I mean, look at us. We've done what Jupiter can't.
Walk
We can
around.
find our lost opportunities.
Oh, we are like cheating. That's
why I
true.
followed you here. I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about all this. Alone.
Oh, it's not ominous.
There's something else we need to do too, though.
On the number 2
Exactly.
bomb?
So we should get going. I'm pretty sure the bomb isn't in here. There's no way
Yeah,
to
I wouldn't
hide
think
it.
so.
So,
You're saying we should go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
well, come on, don't just stand there. We need to get
Where
a move
to?
on.
Where can we even talk about it? Without waiting for a reply, she turns and started toward one of the exits. I followed. We're just kind of hanging out now. Go through the wait again. It's weird how it's built too, because I feel like I would get lost, and these look like roundabouts to me, so it would be even harder to navigate. Where roundabouts, there's like a lot of value in them, but like most of the like time that I'm trying to go through one, it feels like completely chaotic in a very unique kind of way, because I think people don't know like when to yield and stuff, which is so weird. And then since whenever there's more than one
That
lane,
really
it just feels
matters.
like a complete and total
It's here, we'll
disaster.
find it eventually.
So what about that
We can
Jupiter
talk while
stuff?
we look. Now get started.
What about it? I turned to a corner of the room and began to look while I spoke.
I'll start with a conclusion I've come to. Our consciousnesses seem to be able to jump through time.
I would say so.
No, sorry.
Are we...
Through time is
Oh, I guess it's not really our bodies
It's more
coming
like
with,
we
huh?
move through worlds.
Is this like Theseus's body? If your mind just like hops into a body from a different like
Yes.
universe, is
They
that
don't
still
mean
you?
physical planets in this case. Talking about a whole different universe, really.
Okay.
Parallel worlds.
Parallel
Do you know about the
worlds.
many worlds interpretation?
Well, lots of worlds. I think I've heard it once or twice.
Oh well, I'll just explain it.
We're getting our education
say-
again.
I don't care what it is, but could you move?
What?
Scratch your head, cross your arms, put your hands on your hips. Anything?
I'm just like standing here. Is that not good enough for you? I had no idea what this was supposed to explain, but I did as she asked. Oh, we can choose. Others moonwalk, tap dance, blow a kiss, applaud. I think we're gonna go for the tap dance. Yada da da da.
What the hell is that?
Wasn't it obvious? I was tap dancing.
Oh, thought you were trying to kill a roach or something. Never mind.
Did it not look graceful?
You wanted to show me your incredible moves, right? But
Absolutely.
you could have chosen to moonwalk or scratch your head.
I could have. Aren't moonwalking and scratching your head kind of
Details
different?
Don't matter. Just talking about possibilities here.
My incredible move scratches my head. I'm busking. You can't understand? Bro
Now,
can't
maybe
tap
there are
dance? He
other
can.
Sigmas in
He
other
did.
worlds who did all of those things. All of these worlds and realities are branching off from one another.
There's a world where like a purple plane crashes through and then you like die.
The choices you could have made Branched off
Fortnite
when you
emote on
decided what you
5.
were going
Hit
to
the
do
gritty,
just now.
Sigma. Hit the gritty. Do Gangnam style.
Every moment you make a decision, another universe branches off, on and on into infinity.
There's a world out there where we're playing Fortnite, and instead of hitting the Buddy Holly chorus whenever you kill them, instead you hit the gritty, or you default dance, or you dab. There's so many different possibilities going into a quantum physics discussion, all based through the framing of Fortnite interactions. It's going to be an incredible thing.
A world where a version of you did something.
Sorry, I'm going to
different.
lift my microphone up a little bit, because I feel like it's in a bit of an awkward spot right now, and I think that that might be a little better.
Haven't you ever thought about
I've been kind of like slouched over, where I've like completely destroyed my back. We're completely going full hunchback mode, or shrimp posture to reach like where I think my mouth should be with a microphone, which has made like the sitting a little awkward. Haven't you ever thought about what life would have been like if you'd made different choices?
This high school instead of that one.
Well, you know.
Started a study group. What if you hadn't told
The
that
study
girl
group?
you liked her? What if?
What
But
if?
are those what ifs really just what ifs? Or
They
are
all
there other
exist.
worlds out there where you did those things? Anyway,
They all
that's
happened.
the many worlds interpretation in a nutshell.
Imagine if you go to the flowchart and there's like 9 different flowcharts that loop back in depending on if you tap danced, moonwalked, or blew a kiss,
Doesn't have to be human actions. Though.
etc., etc.
I just used your actions to make the explanation easier to grasp. The
Right.
actions of a cat, the flight of a bee,
True.
the movement of a microorganism, even fluctuations in air temperature. All these can change history.
Oh, the butterfly effect. Well, I was saying I'll let microorganisms slide, but there's no way that air is
Can you
conscious
say
of
for sure that
anything.
you are? All of your
Well, that's just not a
actions are
nice thing to
caused by the
say.
cells in your brain. If we go down a little further, then
I
you
like
can
to
say
think
all
that
of
I
your actions are
do
the result
something.
of atoms or electrons or smaller particles.
We're going down the you have no free will kind of
Those
feel.
atoms and
I guess
electrons
technically
still
Phi
make a
and
decision.
Sigma would, right? Because they can hop around even at
How
that
different
like
are you
theory.
From the air? I'd say not much.
We're flowing.
Human existence is just one part of reality. Falling in love is like a tulip blossoming. A tulip
Right.
blossoming is like a tornado forming in South America.
That's
See what
oddly
I'm saying?
specific.
The only thing that really matters is the action of the most elementary particles of matter.
Right.
That's where history happens.
I don't know what to say whenever we go into full educational mode on the Virtue's Last Reward
stop.
streams. Because how can I
Are you done with that
respond to
show?
like just lectures and lectures and lectures?
Well, keep looking.
Not
Lawrence.
yet.
How familiar are you with quantum physics?
Not very.
Never mind. Don't answer that.
Okay,
I'll keep it simple for you.
that was uncalled for.
Hmm.
You don't know if there's a quantum physicist sitting inside of Sigma's mind?
Hey,
Oh, the music.
hand me that box, will you?
This one? Sure. I handed the box I'd been examining over to her. She set it down on the desk and opened the top. Oh,
Also,
we're going Schrodinger's. You take notes during the lectures or make Chad do that? Well, there's no need to take the notes. Like, I don't need to know any of it after, and I think I remember it pretty well, to be honest. I'm still thinking about the gigantic. In Ice 9, I got it all in my head. With that, she grabbed the lion and tossed it unceremoniously into the box. She also took a weight and an ink jar and put them in next to the lion.
All right, everything's ready.
Alright.
Remember
Ready?
that book in the crew quarters about Schrodinger's cat? It
Yeah.
relates to all this stuff I've been talking about. Anyway, come look at the box.
You don't need to explain the concept to me. I understand
So only
Schrodinger's
take a
cat.
minute. Now look.
Oh, just 1 minute. I shrugged and peered into the
What do you
box.
see?
Lion, ink, and weight.
From now on, that's a cat. A
Okay.
living cat. This is important. Got it?
Right?
Mm,
It's a cat
man.
meow.
This again.
Sorry, I can't help
I
it.
find that hard to believe. Ugh, maybe I can just ignore it.
Right? For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
All right. What else do you see?
He can't help it. A weight that's not even a pond and a jar of ink. That one was a
Right.
stretch.
Now the weight is going to be radioactive material.
The writer sitting there having to struggle to figure out how to fit
Poisonous gas.
a forced cat pun into every interaction. What? I'm kidding out of here.
Idiot. It's not really full of gas.
Good joke, Phi.
It's just hypothetical.
Phi's full of them. It's not really full of gas,
Imagine
hypothetical.
It's full of gas. So
You can imagine that I am
What's the
too
weight?
after all the Balduc. Imagine Sisyphus happy. Radioactive material. It was Sigma. Probably. Sigma is a little bit more full of jokes than Phi is, if I'm being honest with you. Not to say that Phi couldn't be funny if she tried, but I just don't think that she's interested.
One other thing you need to know about the jar. If it's struck by any of the alpha particles the radioactive material emits, it'll break.
Big news, your roommate has Balduc. You can have it then. Congratulations. You can experience the pain. I expect to see a picture of a post-Balduc experience.
These particles are emitted randomly, but there's a 50% chance that one of them will come into contact.
That means that your roommate's a Balduc eater. That means that they should know, like, just what that feels like.
So let's close the lid.
Do they understand? Do they know what I went through?
Here's the question.
Yeah, well, if they're just a standard Balduc eater, they probably just like it and don't feel it.
Alive or dead?
He also wants to try it. Oh, he has it but hasn't tried it? That's insane.
You can't open the box to check. And you can't
Well,
hit the box.
there you are. You can bond over some Balduc, which I don't know
Obviously, you can't shake
how
it
I would
either.
feel about that.
It's also been soundproofed, so the cat could be.
Let's have a
calling
good
on
friend-building experience. It's Guatemalan, though. He'll be fine.
You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
inside the
yeah,
box.
probably got a good shot.
Do you remember what happens if the alpha particles hit the jar?
It breaks, gas fills the box, the cat inhales it, and death will whisker
And what
away.
if the jar doesn't break?
The cat lives to tell the tale.
Haha. And what are the chances?
Those
of
are pretty
either
good.
of those things
Those were pretty good. About 50%.
Uh-huh. So, what's your answer? Is the cat alive or dead?
The cat's alive. I can't possibly
Then
know.
Yes. It's not hard. Alive or dead?
It's alive. The cat is, pause for dramatic effect, alive.
Nope, you're wrong.
What? It's
That's
dead?
wrong too.
Then what's the right
Is
answer?
that it's in a state where it is neither dead
Why'd you
nor
have me
alive.
answer? What? How does that make any sense?
It's an extrapolation of something we see at the atomic level.
Okay, I don't really see atoms though.
Upward or downward until we measure it. Before it's
I
measured,
wouldn't even know that.
those two possibilities coexist.
I feel like you're asking too much of my
As soon as the
brain.
measurement is taken, obviously, only one possibility is the truth. That's what's happening with the alpha particles.
I'm imagining a Balduc picture with instead of just one person looking completely destroyed, you have like multiple people completely destroyed, mouth slightly agape, tears pouring from their face, sweat leaking out of all their pores. Just looking directly into a camera. Like, imagine like an entire like boy band that had never eaten Balduc before and had like low spice tolerance, looking like making that kind of face directly into a camera.
Since we can't know when they were emitted, or
Slightly
where,
too close.
we only know the probability
Doesn't know about
that they
superposition.
are. Because we can't observe
I believe there is a
anything
King
happening in the
Giz
box,
song named that.
becomes the entire system. In other words, the box is like the atom. We don't know how the cat's life or death situation has resolved itself until
True.
we look at it. Until we do, it's just a bunch of possibilities.
The Schrodinger's cat does help just like break things down
If the cat in the box
to an
is
atomic level.
possibilities,
because there's like not much room for misunderstanding, am I right? There's just both alive and dead.
So,
How do you make it more
let's open
specific?
up. And when we
Or
do,
less, more
all
under broad,
possibilities will
I can't
collapse
think of the
into
right
a
words.
single truth. Meow.
Meow.
Relief, huh? Looks like the cat's alive. Anyway, that's Schrodinger's cat.
Thank you for the
World's
lecture.
interpretation is one theory for explaining that weirdness.
Right. So there's another world out there where the cat died. Right.
Looks like that.
Oh, she was
cat case
pogging.
Cleared up.
Yeah, well, your story was pretty insane. You don't think so? Just the idea of something being alive and dead at the same time, and at the moment the lid is open determines whether or not the cat's dead, then it's almost like events in the future can determine the past. I mean, the cat doesn't die when you open the lid, so it must have already been dead.
Exactly. You've experienced it, haven't you?
What on earth are you talking about?
Remember round 2 of the AB game?
Uh-huh.
When you chose betray, what was my vote?
Ally.
What happened this time?
I chose ally and you chose betray.
Right. And both both times, I put in my vote a full minute before the deadline. When did
Right.
you push the button?
Right before
I
the
see.
deadline.
Well, that makes this a little easier to explain. If
Good.
you chose betray, then my vote was ally. If you chose ally, then my vote was betray. But I made my choices a whole minute before. Don't you think that's strange? You do see
Just
what
a
I'm
little bit.
saying, don't you?
Sliding into the different worlds. That my choice in the future altered your action in the
Yeah.
past.
From your perspective, there's no other way to interpret it.
Why'd you do that, Fi? If my interaction's the one that matters, I mean, just do it both times. Now that I thought about it, round 1 had been the same. When I chose ally, Alice had chosen betray. And when I had chosen betray, she'd chosen the opposite. Ellipses,
Look at this
ellipses,
die.
right?
I found it over
Oh,
there.
if you roll
Let me
it,
give
it
you
does
one
2
last
and then it becomes 6. Yeah, yeah. I get the idea. She spoke, she tossed the die into the box and quickly shut the lid.
All right.
Are you a gambling
Answer this
man,
question.
Sigma? Would you like to play some Yahtzee?
What number is the die on?
I want to go to a casino that just plays like childhood games. So you have like high stakes Monopoly, high stakes Yahtzee, high stakes dominoes, where it's just like a whole bunch of random nonsense. Maybe you can like have high stakes like Risk, high stakes Axis and Allies. I guess it's like a esports kind of thing. Let me... What number is the dice on? I think we're kind of like a we like 2.
Okay.
Could it be 2?
I'm going to open the lid.
High stakes Uno? That would be good. I feel like, and then you could have multiple rule sets for people. I think 7s and 0s high stakes would be
You
exciting.
got it right.
Thank you, I knew it. That wasn't just a fluke, or that was just a fluke, huh?
Let's think about what was going on before I opened the lid. What number was the die on?
2,
Haven't you been
of course.
paying attention? The die is still a collection of atoms, isn't it? I
Right.
don't think you can reasonably suggest that it was made of some different kind of matter.
Well, you know, we don't know that yet. Wait, so you're saying that before you opened the lid, the die was on all the numbers? And then Sigma just, like, manifested it into the
That's
number
one way to
2?
look at it, at least.
Sigma's the king of manifestation, and that's the whole concept of the game. And when you open the lid, it was just one number. Maybe
It
Phi
might have
and
become
Sigma
that
are the
number when
kings
you
and
said
queens of it.
was.
You should listen to all their advice. They have it all. What do you mean?
Your choice in the future has an effect on the past.
Okay. That's crazy. Would you like to play
Anyway,
some Uno,
that's
Phi?
all I wanted to say. We gotta. Reality
Oh,
separates.
reality
off into
separates.
an infinite number of branches. You and
True.
I seem to be able to. Of course,
Right.
Our bodies aren't. Our
The
consciousness
minds.
is just sort of.
So we could go
dive
into the
other
world
versions
where
of
Sigma's
ourselves
wearing
in
a
other
different
worlds.
shirt. Why don't we do that? Think I get it now? That's how you knew my name, right? You jumped in from another world? That's how you knew all those other things you
Yeah,
shouldn't have known?
that's the best
So
I can figure
Phi's
out,
just
at
further
least.
ahead in the game.
Unfortunately,
It's
it seems like
unfair.
we don't retain all our memories when we jump. Maybe we only remember particularly important things. I'm not sure how it works.
So Phi might be closer to beating the game
But
than me.
whatever the
It's
reason,
unreal.
It seems to be fairly limited. And
Right.
often, we don't seem to remember jumping at all. Things will just sort of pop up.
Oh, like an ad that's installing a virus into your PC. Like Radical 6? How we know X, all we can think of to say is just I knew.
Yeah.
What's causing this then? I don't remember ever doing this before, so why would
If
it
we
start
knew
now?
that, I don't think we'd be having so much trouble.
Right.
It's just.
Just
well,
one.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with why we're locked up in here.
That would be a pretty reasonable guess.
No way this doesn't have something to do with whatever Zero Senior's trying to do.
Right.
Why would he have left that Schrodinger's cat book in the crew quarters?
Good point. You aren't kitten, are you? Maybe this is some sort of huge Schrodinger's cat experiment. And all 9 of us are locked up inside the box,
What
right,
if we got it
Meow?
Backwards. We're
Backwards?
outside of the box.
Oh,
The rest
we're
of the
like
world is inside.
God. Then the moment we step
Yeah,
out of this
we might
place.
be determining the history of the world outside.
Oh, so if we just like think of the world as being alive and stuff, then they don't die to the pandemic. And then if we do leave thinking the world's all dead and stuff, then the world is just all dead and stuff. We have to manifest the entire planet's existence If I had 1,000 other questions, but before I could open my mouth and ask them.
Oh, good. There you are. Did something happen? Yes, we found it.
Where?
What do you mean, what?
What?
What else could we find? The bomb. The
Good
other
point.
antimatter bomb. The number
So now
2
they have
bomb is
3?
in the control room.
Oh, we missed that. My bad. I'll take complete responsibility for my ineptitude. Is this it?
Yeah.
Number
This is one of
2.
them, all right.
This is number 2 apparently. Well, at least we found them all now.
There could be more.
True.
Like Kay said, there might be a number 4 bomb out there.
If I had to
Yeah,
guess, I would say
I don't
9.
know.
I don't know why I have a feeling that it's 9, but I just have a feeling. It's a small hunch. Did you tell anyone else about this, Clover? Woke Zeros gave you like the non-binary games. Okay, buddy.
Well, not really. But I wasn't the first person to find
That means they have any more than 2
Who
bombs.
was.
Or any more than 1? If you're going for... Yeah, binary 2, so any more than 2 bombs.
Kay and Luna. After they found it, they came to the infirmary and told the rest of us.
Who was in the infirmary?
Tenmyouji and Dio were there. So were Alice and Quark, of course. Although they were still asleep. So everyone who wasn't asleep knows about the bomb. I see. Yeah.
There's nobody else here though? Where'd they all
After
go?
we came here to look at the bomb, they all left. They were going to go look for you two.
What about Alice and
All
Quark?
the same. Still sleeping. We checked them out just to be sure, but they seemed fine.
That's good. Fine, I looked at one another and let out a small sigh of relief.
Oh, right. I checked everybody's bracelets when we were in the Did you want to know what they were?
What? Oh yeah, true. We need to know who we're paired with. That could change everything. It took her only a moment. Alice was a green solo, and Quark was a blue solo. Dio's bracelet made him a yellow pair. Dio would be yellow. And Tenmyouji's was a cyan pair. So what are our options for
The next set of
groups?
doors to open are going to be that means
True.
we'll have to mix our colors so that we get white.
Good point. This is more a 999 kind of feel, whenever you're kind of forced for the most part. Fi laid out what that would mean. Option A, Fi and Tenmyouji would pair with me. Kay and Dio would pair with Quark. Clover, I'm just not pairing with Dio. Would pair with Alice, so
Huh?
A is
There's
an
only
option?
one option?
Oh,
Yeah. Any other combinations don't make white.
good. I'm not with Dio. Luna said it's going to be a while
We'll just
until they
have to
wake up.
carry them. The secondary doors won't open without 3 bracelets.
That's true.
And if we can't open them,
Give him a piggyback ride. We'll get penalized.
Exactly. Don't worry about Alice. I'm on her team.
Right? Are you saying you can
Yeah,
carry her?
Well, I can get Luna to help me. True. I'm sure she'd be happy to help.
Awkward. What about Quark?
He's on Kay's team. There shouldn't be any issues there.
Right. We're like constantly teaming up with Tenmyouji lately. It seems to be just in like this wasn't even intentional this time. Still need to figure out what we're going to do about the bomb. Alice said that we should be safe as long as it's not triggered with the remote.
Maybe, but we can't just leave them here forever.
Right.
I mean, if they go off, then everything in like a couple 100 kilometers is gonna get fried.
Might be bad. Couple 100 kilometers. We've been over this before, right? That bomb should only have about as much explosive power as a ton of TNT. Which is nothing to sniff at, but that's nowhere near the kind of yield that you're talking about.
What if these bombs are just like the detonator?
Oh, even bigger bombs? There might be a bunch of more anti-hydrogen bombs around here somewhere. Yeah, right over there.
The reactor. Yeah, there is supposed to only be 18 antimatter reactors in the whole world.
Oh, and this one would just like destroy the planet,
Then there's a lot of anti-hydrogen.
right? How much is a lot?
3.5 kilograms.
3.5? That's like 10,000 times more than Alice's 350
There
milligrams.
really is that much. And if it does explode, then we would be looking at an explosion roughly 10,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima.
That might be bad in my opinion, but you know, I wasn't there for Hiroshima. So, you know, a way to know for sure, I guess.
Clover, how did you know that? Know what? That stuff about antimatter reactors. Well, that's
You know, just doing stuff and like, wait, I understand this part of the game. Yeah, it ties into a lot of like real concepts and stuff. 999 did too, I think, with some of the historical stuff. Obviously, a lot of it's going to be made up too, but I think a lot of it's just tied in. What is going on? We're potentially like using antimatter to destroy the entire planet if we don't like stop the bombs. I didn't realize waiters these days needed to memorize how many operational antimatter reactors there were worldwide, or how much fuel each one of those reactors might be storing. You don't work at a cafe, do you?
About that from Alice? Oh,
Yeah.
well, she's right then.
And why are you using antimatter reactors at a cafe?
What we call the coffee machines.
That's a good point. Are you fucking with me?
I'm telling you the truth. I work at a cafe.
Right.
It just might be a kind of fake job to divert attention. I think they call it a cover.
The coffee machines. Creating coffee that's 60 times more powerful than one standard cup of coffee. The second you drink it, you fall into cardiac arrest as your heart literally beats so fast that
Then
it
what's your real
explodes.
job?
Is that a different thing? If your heart exploded, like, is that like cardiac arrest refers to a specific thing, right? Like a literal heart explosion from 60 times the amount of normal caffeine would be would not be that, I think.
I'm sorry. I really can't tell you anything else. Why not? It's classified.
Oh, classified by who?
Government?
Oh, Clover and Alice are government agents. That's right. Alice said it was her job to eliminate enemies of the state or something. So you two, wait, no, she didn't. When did we get there? I missed that part.
Check your bracelets. How much time do we have left?
Heart attack is the heart has a spasm and stops. So no explosion, huh?
How long until the
No
doors open?
antimatter bomb in the heart.
Come on, quickly.
No expansion. 55. We were supposed to have met up 5 minutes ago.
I'm heading back then. Remember, we're supposed to meet at the infirmary. You guys
Right.
hurry back, okay?
True. Hey, you haven't. Damn it. How convenient. It's understandable. And she's gone. Fine. She's right, you know, we need
Hold
to get
on. I
going.
need to check something really quick.
What? What now? How can things get any worse? Oh, we are just going straight back to the infirmary, I guess? What did she tech? Tech? What did she check? It gets hard to speak sometimes, okay?
You're late. What were you doing?
Oh, you don't want to know. Chatting, yapping, experiencing Bulldog. When we arrived, everyone else was already back. They're napping. Orc and Alice hadn't left, of course. They were both sleeping soundly, any traces of the madness we'd seen earlier are long gone.
Clover told us. You've seen the bomb in the control room.
Right? Yeah, with our own
What else
eyes.
should we do? That makes 3 bombs.
Well, we have to do something. They're bombs, for God's sake.
Let's just gather them up.
There's a quick and simple solution. Really?
Set them off.
Remember what Alice said?
There should be an emergency deactivation password.
Oh,
Enter
true. That was like so
password
long ago. I think I heard this like actually 4 weeks ago.
You see it? Right here. There's a port. If
Right.
we can find the password input device, we just connect it here. Then we can
Who's slipping and hitting the bomb instead of putting the password input
So,
device
if we
into
have
the
a
port?
Password, we can deactivate them?
Uh-oh.
Whoa, hold on a second. That's great and all, but we need that password input device she was talking about. Without
Right.
that, we're still boned even if we did have the password.
Boned.
Not a problem.
No, watch out. You don't want to take a bone. If you take bone, then you're
Figures
going to
all
break your
bullshit.
hand and you
Shut
won't
up.
have a Yaku anymore. I nodded and pulled it out of my pocket.
That was in the safe in the control room.
Exactly. We didn't have any idea what it was at first, but Fi figured it out. After Clover left, we tested it.
Turned out I was right. It fit perfectly.
Oh, finally. We plugged in a couple random characters, but all we got was an error.
Still,
Imagine setting
I'm
off the
sure
bomb.
this is the thing Alice
Password
was
input
talking
device
about.
introducing fingers.
We just didn't have the right password.
No way.
But why was
They
it
needed
in
to
the
make these
control room?
Bluetooth for sure. It's 2028 by now. Why do you need to plug it in
Do you
directly?
think Zero Senior put it here for us?
Maybe those universal remotes from way back would work on them.
Suggest it was also Zero Senior who set up the bombs.
Getting the comically large remote with the ridiculously large buttons to play with whenever you're trying to channel
Zero
surf.
Senior wants us to play the nonary
I got a
game,
crazy
right?
large calculator
So
too.
why would he set bombs?
Maybe he wants to blow this whole place up if someone commits some crazy violation of the rules.
That doesn't make
That would be
sense.
unfair.
Our bracelets already have poison in them.
Yeah, he can just kill us
If
already.
someone breaks a rule, all he has to do is activate their bracelet.
Well, you know, maybe he's only renting the warehouse and this has to be returned. You would take the cost instead of a dead body.
Well, whatever the case is, there's one thing we can be sure of.
It'd literally just blow up the entire
person
planet and
who set
nobody would
these
ever have to
bombs
know.
Is one of us. Whether or not that person is also Zero Senior isn't particularly relevant at the moment.
Why do we know that it's one of us?
But what is relevant is that they know the deactivation password.
One of them might be
If we can
asleep.
figure out who that person is and question them.
Interrogation time? We're going full the thing.
Off.
Exactly that.
Take the
We might
Radical
be
6
using
blood
that-
samples? Maybe start
So
screaming?
fess up. Which one of you set the bombs?
Not it.
Not that I expect
You make
to do
your
that.
video game for $40 an hour? What kind of question is that? Do you know how vague that is?
So we're going to be checking everyone.
Checking us.
Make your video game for $40 an
Yes,
hour?
Once they're set,
I can't answer that question
bombs
for
are
you.
controlled by
I'm
a
sorry.
remote. It stands to reason that whoever set them has that remote.
I need to know what to do with your evening? Ugh. I feel like you're asking me to make a monumental decision, and this is not like a Schrodinger's cat where I can send my consciousness to the other thing. Make someone else's game for $40 an hour? True. That's hard. Do you get the money or do you chase the passion project? I think maybe the passion project for now, unless you're like dying to have money. This is not permanent. These are both options forever. I think the passion project for now. This does not feel like a kind of like super productive random. You're broke? Maybe you get the $40 an hour then. If you're broke.
So you're gonna search us for it?
Or you try the money option, and then if the money option does not work out, move your consciousness to your body that tried the passion project, and then if that doesn't work out, then you can just give up. Swag? No problem, you're welcome.
Yes, but no buts.
No
If
buts.
you refuse, that implicates you. Do what I say, and
No,
you'll be
no.
fine. Assuming you are. Understand?
You'll?
No reason to wait. Let's get started. Anyone
For
want
sure.
to volunteer to go first? No.
You didn't give an opportunity for anybody to volunteer. You went too quick. Why are we all scared of being interrogated? How do we not know that Fi did it? She might have planted the next bomb in the archive while she was teaching me about Schrodinger's cat. You only need to search one person. Because I figured out who did it. I know who did it. I don't know who did it. How does Sigma know who did it? The words were out of my mouth before I'd even realized I was
How can
saying
you-
them.
There's no way.
Yeah. I met Fi's gaze and nodded, then turned away. We have cheating powers. I know who set the bombs. That person? Is this gonna give me another to be continued? And it's insane. It's absurd. We're gonna be going back and forth on all these. Oh, objection? That person. You did it. The room was suddenly silent. His arm, the curvature of it, the finger protruded at a perfect angle, pointing directly at the person who completed who did the crime of setting literal like 200-kilogram bombs around the place. 350, my bad. To be continued. No longer continue. I bet it kicks me straight back out because I don't know who did it yet. Just insane. Okay, well, that's one angle. Save. Return. Cannot continue from there yet. We can, however, continue from here, where Alice died initially, which I think Is this is the medicine? There isn't enough antiviral? We do this then. You wish to jump? Yes, I would love to jump. And this is where we betrayed and Phi allied. So this should all be good to just like skip through, I believe. Suddenly, for just an instant, I was somewhere else entirely. My mind reeled, and then just as I'd begun to adjust, it was gone. As if nothing had happened. We know that Alice is about to, like, go and die. What was that just now? It was the same sensation I felt when I saw the vision of the bombs exploding. Had it been a premonition? This is bad. I need to go find Alice now. Where could she be? Damn it, Alice, where are you? Floor B warehouse, archives, or B garden? I want to say that, was she in the B garden? I'm gonna try the garden. I set off at a dead run. Maybe I should have chosen the one closest because it's probably gonna send me through like 25 different elevators and stuff, which is a bit of a pain. Let's go through though. I'm sure it'll be okay. We can manage. We have attention spans longer than anyone else on the planet, so we'll be just fine. Ding. I think that my game, I can't tell, but whenever there's a loading screen, instead of it just being pure black right here, you can kind of see behind the loading screen, which I don't know if that's just because the game isn't like fully full screen or if that is like the loading screen not covering the entire game. It's a weird thing that I hadn't completely thought about, but it's throwing off my focus in a strange kind of way. B garden? I don't think I will. Okay. B garden, Phi, Quark, and K search this place. Nothing here, huh? It's gonna end up being the last one that I check. I apologize. Shit, empty. She's not here. We need to find her quick or she's gonna do something bad. If what I just saw was a vision of the future, is she dead? It was a vision of the future. I've gotta hurry. Where to now? I searched every corner of floor B. She was nowhere to be seen. This is pointless. I should just get back to floor A. Maybe someone else has found her. Going into the creepy music. I guess I chose wrong, and it'll probably just fling me back after I see her dead now. So literally nothing different? Well, no, it will be different because we can go beyond this time, which means that she is alive. Maybe us running off made somebody else find her. Or maybe you do just have to, like, process of elimination this over time. Beep, beep, beep. Crew quarters. Do we need to go all the way back to the crew quarters? Once we get into the crew quarters, it's going to ask me where would I like to check next. Crew quarters. Doesn't look like anybody's here. I should have a look at the rooms. Oh, no. Was crew quarters one of the options? I think it was, right? Crew quarters was not where I was initially, huh? First thing that I saw, the Blossom, yep, getting punched. It's all the same. This is it. This is what I saw. Walked up to her slowly and pressed 2 fingers into her neck, checking the pulse. Maybe you don't strangle her, though. No pulse. Clearly, she wasn't breathing either. Her pupils had dilated hideously, making her face seem somehow inhuman. No. I'm not interested. This can't. It can't. What happened? I was terrified. Not only was I looking down at the corpse of a friend, it was a corpse I had seen before. The icy fingers of fear walked themselves down my spine. They're doing the thing. You, like, walk your fingers across the horizon as you drive by. Something in my brain snapped. Yarg! A scream clawed its way out of my body, taking my mind with it. The last thing I felt was my body slumping to the floor as the world went dark. When I came to, I was floating in a field of nothingness. Game over. Okay, so I did choose the wrong one. I know it's the crew quarters, though. We'll save it over this one, just in case. Go ahead. There's no way. Hold on, is crew quarters just not one of the choices? Let me, No! No! I don't want to restart. Don't make me do it. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait for it to do a flashback so that I can click on a save. Just let me click on a save. I don't need to see this. Okay, okay. Save. Do you wish to exit the game and return to the title screen? Yes. Continue. Resume from the 12-hour 47 one, just so we can check. I would really like to make sure that... There's no way! Why is it the beginning of the game on all of them? I guess because it's a game over screen. I should have just gone straight to the flowchart. I don't know what I was thinking. My bad. Okay, we're in. Flow. Go here. Click here. Oh, do you wish to jump? Yeah, I'll jump for now. And then we'll just skip through all of this. We're gonna like click as quickly as possible, and then if it's not a choice, I'll just go back to the most recent save, because I assume that it would be a choice, but I have no way to know. It was gone. Nothing happened. True. Slowly watch all the animations. Games like this need to have like a choice to skip the animation, so I don't have to sit here and watch an entire movie. Crew quarters. Yeah, that has to be it. I set off to a dead run. Oh, dead run, because Alice isn't doing the run part, she's only doing the dead part. So if we do both, maybe it'll cancel out the dead. Okay, if she's not here, then there's a problem. Crew quarters. Okay. The moment I entered the crew hallway, I made straight for the door to the number 2 room. Alice should be in here. I swallowed and threw open the door. Okay, yeah, something different. Alice, so you were here. As I spoke, her eyes turned toward mine, but I didn't get the feeling that they were looking at me. Her skin was pale and sickly, and one of her hands held the scalpel like I'd caught her in the middle of something.
What are you doing here?
Well, you know, maybe keeping an eye out for my good friend Alice, who betrayed me at the beginning of the game. I'm just here to help you.
What do you mean?
I know that you wouldn't do the same for me. Just let go of that scalpel.
I need it to get this bracelet off.
I understand it's a little uncomfortable.
Junior told us the bracelet comes off when your heart stops.
Right.
So I just have to
make it stop. Good idea. Oh, the animation. Before I even finished the word I was running, it didn't look quite like a video game animation. That's more the flavor of animation, like you're playing on a slot machine and you get like a jackpot and it goes 7-7, then an animation appears of Alice about to stab herself in the heart, and the video freezes, and then you get another 7, and then she stops stabbing herself in the heart, and the money starts pouring down from the top of the screen, and it's like jackpot, and you have all these edits and stuff. I don't know how people like judge like zoomer edits of stuff whenever people will watch like these blackjack, or not blackjack, slot machines, or pachinko machines or whatever, and it's like all these effects everywhere just completely absorbing into your brain. And I'm pretty sure that that's how gambling works, where like just brainwash you if you do these machines to the point where you're just looking at it and the dopamine is going everywhere because there's like flames coming out of the side of the machine. Now the pyrotechnics are impressive, and they've gotten these like special animations just to make your brain feel good. You're like, no, don't kill yourself, Alice, I need a bunch of money. I grabbed both her arms and wrenched them back, pulling the blade away from her chest. Oh, no. We're in the quick time event kind of feel.
Go.
Sigma's real.
I can't take it anymore.
You don't need to.
This whole thing is like a nightmare I can't wake up from.
I understand, but then the rest of us if the rest of us die if you do. Knock it off. I'm pretty sure we do anyway, because then you can't get into the doors easily. With a grunt, I tore the scalpel from her hands. Oh, somebody dies before the white doors, and that just means that you can't go into them, right? Or at least one team can't. So then 2 more are guaranteed to be eliminated. It was a second before I felt a burning pain in my left hand. I'd apparently cut myself getting the damn thing away from her. Very quickly, it progressed from a dull throbbing to a hot line of pain across my palm. Clenched my teeth and squeezed my hand tight. I was so focused on my pain that I barely heard Alice collapse. She didn't respond when I shook her. Are you alright, Alice? Say something. There was a moment of terror before I realized she was still breathing. I didn't know why, but it seemed she'd passed out. Shit, what am I supposed to do? Man, maybe the infirmary. It's got all the medical things. Buoyed by the adrenaline, I hefted Alice's body and took off toward the infirmary. Good idea. Maybe for you as well. Radical 6 is happening.
Pay attention, everyone. You need
Paying
to hear
attention.
This. The Atom has finished scanning Alice.
I feel like we've seen this before, so we are good to just skip all of this. I almost forgot that we've seen it. Everything's coming up Sigma.
Lucky man you are.
I found
We're
her.
gonna be playing against Clover. If she doesn't vote, then she'll default to Ally.
Right.
That means if she stays here, the two of you are gonna be sitting pretty. Especially
True.
you, Sigma. After all, you've got 6
Oh, I might get the big 9 points.
BP. Get what you need to escape.
Right? You bastard, there's no way I'd do that. Yes, it is so. For one, I'm not the only one making this decision. Luna's my partner and she'll be in the AB room with me. You really think she'd just stand by and let me do something like that? Back me up here, Luna.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't
actually,
mind.
I was planning to let you make the decision.
That's crazy, Luna. Stand up for yourself a little
See?
bit.
Told you. You can lie to us if you want, but you can't lie to yourself.
I can. And I will.
If I might make a suggestion, what if Sigma and Luna both remained here? Should all 3 of you abstain, then you would all be guaranteed to ally, correct?
Doesn't one person have to vote?
Why not?
Yeah. Take a look at this. Pulled the scrap of paper we'd found out of my pocket.
Huh? What's this?
We found it when we went to the archives.
Is there anything like this in the pantry?
Nothing in the garden either.
I guess the only way they only put one in the archives, whatever. I'll just read it for you. Here are some more AB game rules. Not voting is not an option. If both parties refuse to vote, then everybody gets penalized. In other words, one person out of every color group, 3 has to vote. Get it? The whole team
That
can't
means
abstain.
Either Dio or Tenmyouji's going to have to vote then, and they're playing against Alice.
Right.
Well, I guess playing against is a little generous.
So Alice is guaranteed to vote ally, which means that if Dio picks
Knock it
Betray...
off. You trying to get back at me for what I said earlier?
Why wouldn't I?
No way am I gonna choose Betray.
You do it like every
Do know
time.
her BP's at 1, right? What do you think would happen to her if I did that?
She would die, and I just think that that's kind of in character for you. I think we're about to see our first wristwatch death. We love watches that can kill us. I wouldn't past you. Wouldn't put it past you, rather.
Cool it, boys. Don't worry. I'm gonna be in that room too.
True. Tenmyouji's not gonna let it happen.
Just to make sure he was safe, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna have that luxury.
Thank you,
Can't
Tenmyouji.
trust Dio to make a decision for all 3 of us. That means we're gonna be sharing a room, Bucket.
Let's go, Tenmyouji.
Got my eye on
Say
you.
it to his face.
Happy now, Sigma.
Yeah, thanks. That's a relief.
Exactly.
Oh man, everybody's against me.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of made an enemy of everybody, just like on your own. That was a choice that you made.
Whatever shall I do?
Swap into the other consciousness, maybe where you're more kind.
Can't be too careful. I wouldn't want to see Alice killed by an unfortunate accident.
What do
Right.
you mean, accident?
Oh, Tenmyouji, before we went into the CDs, you told Alice there was something you wanted to tell her.
No, I tripped and I accidentally, my finger bumped the betray option. You don't understand.
What was it?
Huh? Oh, that, well, I mean, it wasn't important. Just forget about it.
Oh.
5 minutes remain until.
Because we didn't even get to this point, right? We didn't get to
Time's running
vote.
out, people.
Because Alice
Clover
died.
and I will stay here and keep an eye on Alice and Quark. Everyone else needs to go. What?
You're staying too?
Yeah, something does happen. Clover might need a hand.
Oh, because they might get up and both be like super crazy. Aren't you a solo? You're playing against Kay and Quark. But with Quark out, that means Kay, we get to decide this whole round.
Are you saying that you trust me?
Kay is like the most trustworthy
Yes.
person in the game.
Even though I have 6 BP.
Yes.
Yes,
Whoa,
yes.
whoa, Are you nuts? What happens when he gets 9 BP?
I'm not worried. Kay won't betray me.
How can you know that?
I just know, I guess.
Oh, she's been through this scenario before.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm back. I got a call, and which I was not expecting. Something happened between Fi and K while they were out exploring.
I understand. I can hardly betray trust like that, can I? I will vote for our team.
Good. We're counting on you.
I've had enough of this bullshit.
Understandable. Well, I mean, you kind of did it to yourself, Theo. Maybe you should have been the holy diver.
Game polling closes.
Come on.
Like the good one?
We need to hurry.
All right,
Supposedly,
you
I
guys.
haven't listened yet.
Take care of those two, okay?
Of course. We promise.
With that, we were off. Gave one last quick nod to Fi and Clover before heading back for the warehouse at a dead run. Warehouse A? What if they release Warehouse C? Warehouse so good they made 3 of them? Everybody ready? I'm going to open my AB gate. Although I guess that doesn't really matter. Dio already opened one earlier.
And I remain.
Right.
Oh, even more? He just opened one. Why don't they trust me? Specifically griefing the game. I can't believe you aren't voting for me. Writing the least funny option in the Jackbox game and then being upset whenever the bot gets voted for. Am I right? 2 more AB gates slide open. We all shared one last look at each other before ducking into our respective rooms. Oh, it's so familiar. Start. And then we hit the ally. Because, you know, I'm not trying to beat the game right now. I think that would be the bad ending, the bad good ending,
2 minutes.
where I'm alive and stuff.
What are you going to do? I mean, how are you going to vote?
No question. If Clover isn't voting, then she's defaulting to ally. Betraying someone who isn't even playing hardly seems
I
fair.
think so too.
Oh, Luna pogged on that one. Can you imagine voting Betray after that? Luna's face broke into a warm, happy smile. We're going for the sadistic arc. Oh yes, I'm so happy to hear that you agree. Then actively clicks the other option. Not to be sappy, but it was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. Grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the nonary game didn't seem so scary. Then she spoke.
Sigma, what's wrong with your hand?
Oh, true,
There's
huh?
something white on it.
White. Oh. The beginning of End of Evangelion. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, well, they were comatose too. It really all does line up. For the first time since I'd found Alice in the crew quarters, I looked down at my hand. Across the palm was some sort of strange white liquid. For a moment, I thought I'd somehow touched some white paint or something similar. Speaking of edging, but the truth was far stranger. The liquid is coming from my hand. We're a robot. No question in my mind. It was coming from the cut I'd given myself when I grabbed the scalpel away from Alice, but why? Where was the blood? I felt a very odd sort of fear begin to wrap its hand around my throat. Quickly, I held my palm against my chest. I shouldn't have let Luna see that.
Are you all right?
Yeah, it's nothing. I went to the pantry while I was looking for Alice. There was some milk and I spilled it. It sounded even stupider as I said it.
Really?
Yeah. Just shut up. It's fine, alright, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I regretted the words the moment they were out of my mouth, but something was wrong, very wrong, and my head was spinning.
Sigma.
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's just don't worry about it, okay?
30
I'm good. Don't worry about the white liquid running from my blood. So much of a gooner that my entire bloodstream has turned into something else. There was no time left. I had to vote. I turned and faced the machine. I took a few deep breaths, but the chaos in my mind refused to calm itself. Calm down, just calm down. You need to think about the AB game right now. Just forget about your hand. Who was I kidding? There was no way I could forget about something like that.
10 seconds remain.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You better whip your hands first. Wipe them. Yeah, that might be a good idea. We're going to get an infection, though. We're not healing this up just yet. I feel like Betray, getting out and then maybe getting that treated would maybe be good.
Has been completed.
We did it!
Results will be displayed in the
We're gonna see Tenmyouji literally murdered to death by Dio.
Ambidex gates now open.
I think Tenmyouji could win in a fight against Dio. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. I could see the others filing out of the rooms as we did.
So you chose ally after all.
What can I say? I'm a good guy. Link. To be honest, the AB game was the last thing on my mind. As chaotic as my thoughts were, they all centered on one thing. The mysterious white liquid. What could it possibly be? Sure. It's just like hold your hands out, you know, the hand over the wrist in front of you. Nobody has to know. Maybe whenever the milk starts squirting out the side of your hands from the pressure, maybe then there will be a problem, but you'll be okay. Couldn't move. I glanced around to make sure no one was watching and opened my hand. The liquid didn't seem to have clotted or run out since it was still oozing thickly out of the slit in my hand. What in the hell is this? It couldn't be blood, could it? No, that was impossible. No matter how many white blood cells clumped together, you'd never get anything that looked like that. And I'd never seen my blood do this before. In 22 years of life, I'd seen my body bleed many times. Scraped knees as a kid, accidental nicks with a knife as an adult. But every single time I'd bled red like any other human being. Gold star, Sigma. So why was it that this time it was white? I'm white? What the hell is happening to me? I think his spice tolerance might be low.
Hey, Sigma, what are you doing? Get the hell over
Glaring at
here.
my
I'm
hand.
gonna show the results.
Yeah, right, on my way. I already know what my results are, so it doesn't really matter. Did my best to compose myself and headed over to join the others.
Results from round 2. Please
True.
direct.
Directed? Don't worry, you're like a beautiful conductor to me. Voice from the ceiling. The intercom. Ally, ally. Ally, ally. Oh, it's beautiful. The across the board ally. They did not need to keep the slowdown for the last one. We already knew what was happening. 878 373 878. Hate Dio. Hate that guy.
Points have been assigned. Please check your bracelet to see.
So Tenmyouji,
bracelet points.
Tenmyouji and Alice have been screwed the most in this one. This must be the world where I betrayed Alice. My bad, Alice.
This is incredible.
True.
Everyone voted ally.
What is this smile? They tried to do like the... Can you put it back? I was about to like point it out. They tried to do like the Cat 3 thing. Like they had like one of these just on her mouth. And it looked completely disturbing on like a normal model, like a normal-ish model that's like already
Just
ugly.
Like you promised, Kay.
And also, oh my god. What is happening? Why'd her mouth look like that? That's like the sunglasses. You're looking sick, Luna. You're looking great.
How could I choose betray after what Phi said to me?
True.
And Dio voted ally too.
I put all my trust in you. It actively betrays. You'd have to be a horrible person. Kay understands.
Yeah, well, that's about it, I guess.
We should thank the both of you as
Tenmyouji
well.
would have also died.
I'm happy to see you also chose Ala.
Oh, I didn't have anything to do with it.
It was all Sigma.
Then thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much, Sigma.
No problem. I feel like I'm in pre-K.
Sigma?
Luna's strange. What is this? What's she doing with her hands?
Sigma, are you alright?
I'm okay.
Come on, what's wrong? Just say something.
Oh, don't look at my hand. Looks like we all allied. That's great.
Sigma, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you've been acting a little out of it ever since we came out of the AB rooms. What happened? You make it past at Luna and get shot down?
Yeah. Nothing like
It
that.
was a joke. You remember what that is? A joke?
Nope, they don't come naturally to me. The milkmen go comedy? Oh, I'm the milkman. Before Dio could continue, the heavy metal rumble of door shutting echoed throughout the warehouse. Just an elevator, it can't be that loud.
The ambidex gates have closed.
Yes.
Round 3 of the ambidex game will be the star round.
Star round.
Star key.
True, we know this.
We can open the gate then.
We can
Yep.
fight?
Nope,
Hey.
it's not how that works.
Yeah, right.
You can't farm points off it, unfortunately. It takes 45 minutes. Everyone nodded and held their arms out toward him. I stared at them, terrified to follow suit, but certain that refusing would only draw more suspicion. So I held my arm out, hand tightened into a white-knuckled fist to hide the cut. When their eyes landed on my hand, my heart skipped a beat. See the pairs!
Dio and Kay are a yellow. Luna and I are both pairs.
Right. You're a cyan, and I'm
Right.
magenta.
That makes Sigma the only solo, a red solo. So what are the 4 we left in the...
Luna and I are pairs, so 2 of them are our
True.
That means the other 2 are solos. Although, I guess we don't know what...
They're
True, also
probably
true. Probably green and blue,
What's
right?
that?
Red solo cup
There are a bunch of white doors in the
filled with,
warehouse.
white liquid. Inconspicuous white
They have to be
liquid.
in an exit-
Ah, yes. Phi and I saw them as well. On our way back from the garden with the unconscious Quark. There they were.
Right? Heading back. Someone's dip cup full of, you
Each
know.
one had a box just like the doors on floor A.
Right.
That, those white doors are our next set of...
I think the
True.
pairs are cyan, you see?
Yeah.
Right?
If we need to make white.
Right.
This is just all the same reasoning of like, oh, if we grab the 3 people and then they become,
Now that we've
the
got
white
that figured,
door.
we'll check up on Quark.
I shall accompany you then.
right?
Might as well go with you, I guess. No real reason to hang...
Well, what will you 2 do?
Incredible things and grows
To talk
people.
to Sigma about something.
About what?
Something.
Her usual pleasant expression had been replaced with something much more sullen. She must have noticed that there was something wrong with you. I mean, how could she not? You know, you kind of like yelled at her after like the white goo oozing out of your hand. What was it that she wanted to talk about? I was sure of it. Okay, fine. I managed to make my voice sound almost relaxed.
Whoa, hold on. A private talk?
You're not invited,
You
Dio.
guys plotting.
You're
I'm not
deaf.
plotting
She
anything.
saw a Sigma.
I promise.
A yogurt.
It's not-
Fine, we'll see if I care.
Dio tossed his head with a mixture of arrogance and feigned disinterest and marched out the yellow door. Tenmyouji and Kay quickly followed. In only moments, all 3 had disappeared. She saw Sigma's post-bulldog face. Oh. His post-bulldog hand. That's the euphoria that came with it. So, what was it that you wanted to talk about? I was almost certain I knew, but there was always hope. I did my best to act as if I was genuinely confused.
I don't really like this room. Could we go somewhere else?
Sure.
Good. I found somewhere nice when I was looking for Alice earlier.
Are we going to the garden? I had no reason to object. I kept my mouth shut and followed Luna as we headed off. Oh, she's gonna, like, kill me. Think of the bunnies. Think of the farm, Sigma.
This place?
Yes, well, sort of. I came here once I was looking for
I
Alice.
see.
So what brings
Isn't
you
this
here?
nice? This is the only place in the whole facility with anything green.
True.
I feel kind of
Green's a good
silly
color.
saying It, but it makes me think of the great outdoors.
It's
I think
almost-
the perfect
it's almost
place for a
there.
Serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy.
Luna's going for the calm conversation. I'm feeling a little less on my guard,
Would you like to sit down with me?
of course. And look at the hexagonal sky. She sat down softly and gently. I lowered myself down next to her. So what did you want to talk to me about? This is like a frightening view of her. Instead of answering, Luna lifted the tiny birdcage pendant she wore in the palm of her hand. She was silent for a moment and she began to talk.
Can I tell you something? This is actually a music box.
Oh, we can listen to something? She twisted the key on the bottom and it made an almost imperceptible winding noise. It's very soft. When she released it, soft, clear notes drifted out. It's a nice song. Why'd you bring that up, though?
Wanted you to know, I guess.
Are we about to go the Luna romance
Wanted
route
you
in
to
the
know
game?
More about me.
Why? Oh, do we have a romance route? Do Sigma and Luna get together? Is that the
Maybe it's
plot
because
now?
I'm so shy, but I don't really have any friends.
Are you about to die, Luna? Or am I about to die?
So I've sort of always been alone. It was really hard.
Where did this come from?
I felt so lonely a lot of the time.
Did the white goo do this to you?
It hurt.
Luma?
It felt like I was just
I
kind
don't
of
understand.
collapse from the inside out.
Right?
That was when I got this music box. Someone
trauma dumping on me,
very
Luna.
important gave it to me. They didn't say anything, but I felt like there was an unspoken message behind it.
Okay.
Happiness is closer than you think.
And it's with you,
Do
Sigma.
You know Interlink's The Bluebird?
No. I know the gist of it. I think it starts on Christmas Eve. This brother and sister named Tiltil and Metil get asked to find a bluebird by this old woman, and they travel to the dream world or something like that. Anyway, supposedly if you can catch this bird, then you can make a wish come true. So they visit all these different places, but they can't find it. Eventually they give up and go home, but when they wake up, the bird is in a bird cage in their hut.
Right. It's a well-known story, and it teaches a simple lesson.
Yeah, like you said, happiness is closer than you think.
It got me thinking. Maybe the person who gave me this music box was trying to tell me just that. I don't know.
To
if that's
be
true.
happy.
Maybe all of this is just in my head, but I really felt like that
Life
was
is what we assign meanings to.
It was so kind. I kept it with me all the time, like a kind of good luck charm.
Fair.
One day I realized something. There was another meaning to the bluebird.
It's very
In
pretty.
Winterling's original story, it doesn't end with them waking up.
There's
Yes,
more.
When Tiltil and Nittil try to feed the bird, it leaves the cage and flies away.
Happiness leaves.
And then the story ends.
Oh, what about the moral then?
Changes. Now the message is that just when you think you found happiness, you lose it again.
Well, that's a little bleak.
I thought about that for a while.
But if you have the birdcage forever, then you're like forever happy.
It didn't change how I felt. I don't know what they intended it to mean when they gave it to me, but I decided that I was going to look.
You'll never be happy. That's
It
insane.
means that happiness is something you should always be looking for, and it's only when you're pursuing
Much better
happiness
framing.
that you're truly happy.
Right? I just don't understand the tie together,
I
Luna.
think you might be Tiltil.
What?
No, the boy who the old lady asked to find the bluebird on Christmas Eve.
Always looking for happiness?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah?
Where did you find Alice?
What does that have to do with
Just answer
anything?
me. Where did you find Alice?
Now it's getting ominous. She got a little closer to the mic.
Where were you before that?
I was in the lounge. That was after we'd split up to go look for Alice. The first place I went was the
So you
lounge.
went from the lounge to the crew quarters, where you found Alice, and then you rushed her to the infirmary, right?
Right?
Okay, tell me this then.
Okay,
How do you know
we can
about
make
the
connections.
garden? Just now you said you'd come here when you were looking for Alice.
Oh! Does it know that I clicked on the garden, or is this from a previous
Didn't
one?
you? That doesn't make any sense. There wouldn't have been any time for you to visit the garden while you were looking for Alice.
Luna Zero for sure, right? She's got to be the bad guy. She's gone on about how happiness is important, that she's always looking for happiness.
How do you know about
And I
this
bet the
place?
happiness is built through, like, the destruction of others. I don't know how, but she's giving off, like, not great vibes. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't even explain it to myself. Why had I told her that I knew about the garden? Why had I told her I'd been there before?
Sigma, are you a robot?
Are you a robot? Oh, we actually are a robot? That's insane. What?
It would make so much sense if you were. That would
I don't think
explain
she's
why
into
you
me,
knew
unless
about
she's
the
into
garden.
robots.
And it would explain that cut on your left hand.
Right. So you did
Yes,
see it, huh?
I've been told that robots these days have what's called artificial biological tissue, or ABT.
What is the story coming to?
It makes them look
Oh,
almost exactly
what
like
does this have to do with anything?
ABT uses this white liquid
And we
instead of
forgore. We're just actually a robot. Is Kay just legit a robot? For some reason, when Luna had called me a robot, it hadn't really fazed me. Maybe because it was just so out there. It didn't sound like a real possibility. It sounded more like a theory you'd get from someone in a nut house. Still, my hand was still oozing white liquid. Was I really a robot? That was impossible. I needed to stop doing that. Questioning myself so much was giving me heart palpitations. We actually are going to go into cardiac arrest? Aren't you a little scared?
Scared? Why would I be scared?
Well, let's say I am a robot. That means there's a pretty good chance Zero's pulling my strings. That would make me your enemy.
I guess so. Well, even if you...
Why not?
Maybe because you're a robot. Have you
Aw.
ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
Oh, can't
They were
hurt
a set of
people.
rules created by the science fiction author Isaac Asimov that he used in several of his stories.
True. I've read iRobot. Rule 1, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Rule 2, a robot must obey any orders given to it by human beings except when such orders would conflict with the first law. Rule 3, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. We've already broken some of the laws, though. I've heard those before. That's just an ideal, though. You could work toward that, but I don't think you could ever actually achieve it. I mean, depending on how you program them, robots could do pretty much whatever they wanted to.
Right, but I believe in them. In you, however you're programmed.
This is weird. Now she's like, I feel like we're getting into a weird zone where she's like idealizing robots, and I just don't know if I'm cool with that.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic.
Uh-huh.
That's not you. You have a heart.
But thank you.
Person. It's in your eyes. Well,
She's clearly just into robots.
assuming you're a robot, there's still a chance you're not.
Right.
We should run some tests.
Tests?
Well,
Ow.
the atom should be able to tell us.
Oh yeah, the thing in the infirmary. I heard the crunch of dried leaves behind us. They're listening in, but when I turned, there was nothing. Who is it?
Is someone there?
Someone is for sure there.
Just me. Sorry, but can you guys come over
Try
here?
stabbing Sigma again,
I
true.
need you to see something.
Is Fi a robot too, then? Luna and I looked at one another, shrugged, and stepped into the bushes. Maybe the atom fries my systems?
Welcome.
What, how long have
Just
you
got
been here?
A while ago. Did you hear what we were saying? No. Were you talking about something you didn't want me to know
A
about?
little bit. I mean, it was a little private. You wouldn't get into my
Whatever.
business like that, right?
Just have a look at this.
I followed the line of her finger. Bomb! This is...
Antimatter bomb. Exactly.
How convenient, Fi?
Pretty sure
I don't think that
someone
was
took
there
a movie
before.
here from the crew quarters. In fact, look at the number on the side.
1. We've seen this before. I'm just gonna skip through this. Because we know this already.
I've got. Just think about. You're saying there's a kid.
Number 2, right?
Yeah.
That means we have to look for more, and there might be also even more.
Well,
We never know. Have you heard of Schrodinger's cat, by the way?
Fine. You got
Schrodinger's cat
energy.
determines
Of course
that the
it
bomb
seemed
might
just
always
stuck
be in
up
a
there.
live or active state.
I found.
And because of that, there
Honestly,
also
anybody
might
could-
be more alive or dead bombs within the box, but also we might be outside of the box, and we might also be God. Did you know that? Are we getting tested now? Good. Everyone else was already there when we arrived. Clover and Tenmyouji. Kay and Dio. And of course, Alice and Quark. Good point. Both seemed to be sleeping peacefully. You never think to look at them. They'd been completely insane not too long ago. All right, everybody. More bomb. Can you believe it that we've seen another bomb? It means that there might be a second bomb. Go ahead, gasp. There's no problem if you do. I understand that it's shocking. It also might have more power than the entirety of the bomb dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
So you're
Exactly.
But there's no way to be sure, but 300 kilograms of antimatter being destroyed might also destroy the whole entire planet, and that would mix together with the pandemic that we're currently going through. And so the world might not be in the best spot right now, but I believe that you can push through it.
Huh?
You only need to search one person? Because I figured out who did it. I know who did it. The words were out of my mouth before I'd even realized I was saying
How
them.
can you? There's no way.
There is. I met Fi's gaze and nodded, then turned away. I knew who set the bombs, that person. Let's go through again. He's gonna protrude his finger at a certain angle directly at somebody to maybe make a connection. And then it will go to be continued and we won't be able to continue. You did it. The room was silent. No way. Who would have guessed? Okay. There it is. Let me just look at the paths. And I'll probably click into one and save and then quit for the day. We have been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. The developments today have been a little strange, to say the least. Sorry for there was like significantly less gameplay today because I was yapping for a long time, but that's okay. Let me just click on this. Click oh, I don't want to do this.
2 minutes.
Welcome, Blue.
What are you going to do?
And I will save here. And we're about to do something like incredibly horrible. Who am I teamed up with? I'm teamed with someone that has like 1 point. I'm teamed with Alice, I think. So this would be like killing them. I kind of don't want to do that, actually. I don't think this will lead us to anything like good. So instead, I'm going to switch positions and go from here into the CDs, I think. And then once we get through here, Clover and I were a pair. That means I had to choose one of 3 solos. We'll probably go through green with Quark. But I will save. And this will be where we continue from on next Friday. Most likely next Friday. I am thinking about switching around the order of my stream. But I probably won't do that until after next Friday. It'll give me a week to consider things. Quick reminder before I end stream, let me thank people real fast. Thank you, Moon. Thank you, Holland. Thank you, Cyan. And thank you, Blue. I believe that is everybody that chatted today. Thank you for all chatting, and then maybe anybody else that had drifted through at various points or alert. Otherwise, I will be back not on Sunday, but I will be back on Monday, most likely, with something very special on my screen. You did show up. Oh, and Vino. Thank you, Vino, as well. Thank you for pointing that out, Cyan. You did show up right at the end. It's been over 2 hours, so I apologize for that. So it's like the comfortable point to wrap up after we just got to another to be continued point. Either way, thank you for showing up, Blue, as well, even if it was only for a few minutes. No stream Sunday. Monday will potentially be very special, so keep an eye out for Monday. I believe on Monday I might stream Katamari. I'm going to see. I'm going to think about that over the weekend, but you will see a schedule go up probably on Sunday. I will also have a video going up Sunday night instead of the stream. So I will have video done and it will be up on Sunday. It will be another Resident Evil video. It's basically done as of right now, so I just have to finish some stuff up and then it will be good to go. But I'll just have it scheduled for Sunday. That way it'll like go along with my normal stream time, so probably about 6 p.m. Central. Either way, no stream Sunday. Monday, good. And then from here on, after this week, it'll be Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be the schedule. Wednesday, Signalis, and then I think I'll probably switch Virtue's Last Reward to being a Monday kind of stream instead of a Sunday, or a Friday kind of stream, rather. And then Sunday and Friday will be my one-off short series kind of streams. Either way, thank you all for coming. I will talk to you all on Monday, where special things will be happening. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.